Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom for the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast that is the true Walking Dead. See, I'm off my medicine now, so
here comes the metaphors.
I shamble around like the Walking Dead now. So
we are your hostess with the mostest.
That's right.
With the most, decapitated, decrepit skin.
I've had that forever. So.
Yeah.
The longest time. Yeah, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast. My name is Tim Dixon. I am joined by Mike Worth.
Hello. And
we have got some awesome stuff today on the Ninja Troll Digicast. We're going to have our showcase on the greatest science fiction novels of the 1970s. And I found out that a lot of these great novels from the 70s I haven't read.
Ooh.
So I need to brush up on my 70s.
What were you doing? You were at Studio 54.
No, I was a little young for Studio 54 in the 70s. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of them, that I need to catch up on. So, but we're going to take a look at those in our ongoing series of greatest science fiction novels. We started in the 50s, then we did the 60s. This week we're going to do the 70s. We're going to travel on. When we travel on to the 80s, we're actually going to split a little bit. Because we're going to do the 80s, but then I'm going to do an offshoot on cyberpunk.
Because it's so significant.
It's so significant to me, quite frankly. This is completely selfish, but that's I'm going to do that. So
Timmy survives another week.
Oh, dude, I love cyberpunk. I absolutely love it. So I'll be able to dig into a lot of these and that was the reason when I started compiling the list for the 80s. I was like, okay, there's way too many here. It's just going to take.
It's its own thing. And then with Blade Runner coming back,
exactly,
it's perfect. That sets it up nicely.
So, and also in our comic rack, we're going to dig into the DC Rebirth. We've got a lot of information now.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at the information we've gotten, what we know is coming.
Yes.
And what we still question, what questions we still have, and what we might get.
Ooh, okay.
So,
all right.
It's interesting, and right now I am hopefully optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic?
Cautiously, maybe cautiously, but right now I'm optimistic on what.
You're hopefully optimistic.
That
means that you're hoping that soon you'll be optimistic. That's what that means.
Yes, exactly. I'm standing by to stand by. So,
hurry up and wait.
Yeah, exactly. And in our movie and TV news, we've got the Daredevil Season 2, the second Daredevil Season 2 trailer came out. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to talk about Supergirl, Flash, Arrow. Well, you'll talk about Arrow because I haven't watched it yet.
I sure will.
I saw Deadpool, so we'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, fun.
No spoilers.
Thank you.
And in our tidbit section, as we like to call it, it's the stuff that happened during the week that
just little tasty bites.
Little tasty bites, yes. Little giblets.
Fun size.
Little giblets. Word has come down about Star Wars Land.
Oh, it looks cool.
It's getting even cooler.
Oh,
You'll be able to fly the Millennium Falcon.
Oh.
Get into it, fly it, fire the laser cannons, which is right where I'm headed.
Wow.
And visit some of the locales and meet the characters from the different locations in the Star Wars universe. Like
That's
I'm sure
amazing.
they're going to have the cantina.
Okay.
Probably something on Hoth and stuff like that. But yeah, that
just all the places we've been.
You had me at fire the laser cannons.
Oh man. Well, when I went on the Disney cruise, you could sit in the cockpit. It was a kid's thing.
Yeah.
And then if you push the hyperdrive lever, the stars go, and then all of a sudden you're in the blue spinny thing and everything, and you come out, and then it's just star battle. And then you got TIE fighters coming, and it surrounds your peripheral vision, so you feel like you're in it.
Can you imagine 10 years old if there was something like that around? You'd have lost your mind.
I mean, when I played TIE Fighter on my 640 by 480, crappy computer back in 1994, I was blown away.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you'd have your mind if you were able to drop into something like that. And imagine, I don't want to be all like, get off my lawn, but these kids today don't realize.
It too good.
They don't realize quite what they've got.
But this new Star Wars Land will be at the sacrifice of, I guess, parts of Frontierland and whatever else over there.
There was something else that had to kind of go bye-bye to give.
Huck Finn's Island is gone. the Runaway Train, a few things like that, which I'll be sad to see because, like, you know, if you've been to Disney World historically, those are cool places, but they do feel dated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're not like they're not charming like they were, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it kind of rubs off a little bit after a while, but
animatronic bears, Five Nights at Freddy ruined that. So.
Oh, absolutely.
But that sounds amazing. I can't wait to I want to take out some TIE fighters.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. So
and Buzz the Tower.
And Buzz the Tower, yeah, exactly. And the 30th anniversary. You want to feel old. The 30th anniversary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off is coming up.
I love that movie.
And it will be celebrated with Ferris Fest in Chicago.
Oh my God.
They're going to have a screening of the movie and this is the part where it kind of breaks down a little bit. You think they're going to have a screening of the movie and then a Q&A with Ferris's parents.
What?
Not Matthew Broderick, not
I don't know what those actors. I know what they look like. The lady
exactly.
with the short blonde hair, and then the dad who tries to give Sloane the hey in the cab.
That's right.
Yeah, when they're in traffic.
That's right. Yeah, they're gonna have Ferris's parents and then the snooty restaurant maitre d'.
Oh, right.
Again, I have no idea what the guy's name is. It's just it's that guy.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, right this way, Mr. Frumman.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yes. So they're certainly getting the cream of the crop there of the cast.
My name is George Peterson.
Yeah, so you don't get the. I'm sure at some point in this, then Matthew Broderick and Mia Sara and I've forgotten Cameron's name. The guy who played Cameron.
Yeah, I don't remember. And then Jennifer Grey, right? Who's the sister.
The sister. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be. I think the guy who played the principal, I think he passed away.
He did. He was in Howard the Duck, too.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the bad guy in Howard the Duck.
Yeah. So, I'm sure at some point they'll be involved, but for the Q&A, you get the top flight talent of Ferris's parents and the snooty maitre d'. So, and they'll have they'll have a recreation of the Twist and Shout parade, which will be pretty cool.
Perfect.
The prices are $300 for the weekend, or $175 for a day pass for either Saturday or Sunday.
Wow.
You had me right up to that.
Oh man.
That's a little steep.
Is it? Do we get to eat at the restaurant?
Yeah.
The maitre d'?
Yeah, it's Abe Froman's sausage restaurant.
Yeah, right.
He's
the sausage king of Chicago.
That's right.
You're Abe Froman. Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds really, really cool. Right up till you say $300. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
But like I said, you want to feel old. Yeah, the movie's been out for 30 years.
Oh man.
Yikes.
I still try to run my car backwards, but the miles don't come off.
It doesn't work that way.
No. Let my Cameron go.
It's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I saw I think it's a clip from a TV show, but I saw this clip on YouTube of two people having a conversation and one telling the other that the villain of Ferris Bueller is not the principal. It's actually Cameron.
Oh.
Because Cameron is constantly trying to ruin the day.
Ambush the
and to get in the way of him and Sloane actually having a moment.
He falls in the pool.
Yeah.
So he blocks him.
Yeah, so he's exactly. So
Cameron.
The guy makes some pretty good points. Maybe Cameron is the real villain of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I might have to rewatch it and just go, okay, see?
I thought it was Grace.
Right.
The principal secretary.
He's a righteous dude.
Yeah.
He's a righteous dude.
Yeah. Well, I love that, she's like,
oh, Ferris, you have 9 absences.
9 times.
9 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we could quote that movie for hours.
You know that his ass is so tight that if you put a lump of coal in there, in a week, you'll have a diamond.
You have a diamond.
All right. Please proceed.
Okay, yeah. All right, Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, or Comic-Con International, whatever the hell they're calling it now, is sold out.
They should just call it Hall H Fest.
Yeah. Body Odor Fest.
That's all the people care about is Hall H.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, Tim, if it was Body Odor Fest, then every Comic-Con would technically have the right to sue them.
Yeah, there's Yeah, that's the common denominator for Comic Con.
Somebody needs to come out with a deodorant. There needs to be like a Spider-Man deodorant.
That'd be awesome.
Or
And
something.
Everybody would have it. Yeah.
You know, like smell like justice.
What does justice smell like?
Like a man.
Like a man, Ultraman. So, well, we're all
Move along, silly
are
man.
giddy.
Yeah. Now we'll get grim because we're talking about Frank Miller.
Don't know. So this is a cool story.
Oh, all right.
Frank Miller was in L.A. last weekend to sign copies of the new Dark Knight Returns 30th anniversary
Nice.
edition.
Of the first story of Volume 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And he was greeted there by his self-proclaimed #1 fan, Stan Lee.
Who, right, looks younger than Frank Miller. Frank Miller does not look well.
He's not. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really he's sick.
Yeah, I think so. I think he is. But I mean, they haven't said. But yeah, every time you see him now, he's walking with a cane.
He's arched. He's getting his face is like
Sunken,
retreating.
yeah.
Sunken in. I know it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that far to say. Yeah, Stan looks
a little better than him.
Yeah.
Stan's healthy. You know, he's just old.
He's 93. Yeah.
But Frank don't look like he did punk rock time. You know, in the '80s. So
yeah. And speaking of Stan Lee, Comic Book Man. If you watch the Kevin Smith show on AMC, it's on. It's on after Talking Dead, after The Walking Dead.
I don't have energy for that. I love you, Kevin. Like you're doing like hometown good work, but it's so late. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, that's what a DVR is for. Or you can watch it online. AMC.
Apparently, I need one of these new
these
devil boxes.
What is this DVR?
One of these devil boxes,
That's right.
capturing TV and shit.
Because oh Lord,
excuse me.
Stan was on Comic Book Man. He was hanging out in the store because
Awesome.
actually he was in Mallrats back in like 92, 93, something like that.
Wow, that movie's that old.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played a part in Mallrats. If you've never seen Mallrats and you're into comic books, and if you're not into comic books, you wouldn't be listening to this. So yeah, go out and get a copy of Mallrats and watch it. It's hilarious.
Didn't he curse? Stanley, didn't he turn around and say something like, or didn't he correct Brody or?
I don't think so. I don't think he. Brody
was.
Kept asking him about superhero body parts.
Oh.
And so he was like, "Yeah, we didn't really put a lot of thought into that." But yeah, he was in the store because the show is centered around Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. That is a comic book store that Kevin Smith owns and his childhood friend Walt Flanagan runs in Red Bank, New Jersey. And what I like about Comic Book Man is it's almost like Antique Roadshow for comic books, because
nice.
people will come in and go, "Hey, I'm trying to sell this."
I got blah blah blah, and they break it down. Yeah, that's great.
And this week, Stan was with them there in the store, so people would come in and it's like, "Hey, Stan Lee is sitting at the counter." Holy crap! And they had one of their regular customers who had a pull box there for 15 years came in and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to. This is like my last week. I'm having to stop collecting. It's just
wow.
I don't have the passion for it as much as I used to, and so this will be my last week." And then Stan was there a little later, and so they were telling him, and he was like, "Well, give him a call, get him back in here." And granted, this is probably all staged, but the dude comes back in. Stan talks to him, and
what happened?
He pulls him back in. So he's
awesome.
like, yeah.
Wow.
So
right. I mean, otherwise, the shop would have had to cut the electric bill or something.
That's right.
Because apparently that guy was financing the whole place.
Well, yeah. When they handed over his pull box, it was pretty substantial. So yeah, he he had a big handful of comics that he had. So
damn.
But yeah, it was kind of cool to watch Stan, and the debate is always out there whether Stan is taking credit for more stuff than he really did.
What do you mean?
Because Kirby and Ditko have different stories about how much
each of them did on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
but if you think
fantastic.
about, we know he wrote at least the plot for most of all those, and he was basically the only writer working for Marvel at that time. So he was doing everything.
So yeah.
So yeah, if he doesn't
feels...
have his fingers entirely into something, and you have somebody like Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko that you can depend to fill in the rest. Yeah, I've got other stuff to work on, and he was the editor at the time too. So, I mean,
and he made one hell of a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, like I said, the debate is always out there of whether he did as much as it was always made out that he did.
I'm sure it's all collaborative, but like people don't like to. Now we're getting into where we're seeing multiple creators on Heroes, where it used to be just one person.
Yeah.
It's easier to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but and quite frankly, even if you just look at it and say, okay, he was the editor for
there's
all
his hands
these.
in almost all of it then, if that's the case.
And so, I mean, and the fact of the matter is, he seems like a really nice guy that you would want to hang out with and listen to stories about. So it's like I said, it's that's always going to be the debate, and you're never quite sure who to believe because there's always 6 sides to one story.
Well, when this generation passes, we might find out.
Yeah.
It might be left to
well, kind of that when Bill Finger passed away, Bob Kane finally then said, yeah, he was responsible for a lot of it.
That's major.
Yeah, because
and
Bob
now he
Kane
has to be mentioned all the time, right?
Yep.
Now from here on out.
Yeah, it says Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger.
Yeah.
Whether it will at some point transition to Bob Kane and Bill Finger, it'd be nice. Because I mean, from every story you hear, Bob Kane had a tendency to take credit for a lot of other people's stuff.
Oh wow.
So, but that's neither here nor there. We got off on the big old tangent there. So
because it's Batman, that's why.
That's right. Well, that'll happen with me. So, and today, February 25th, is the Big Bang Theory Day in Pasadena.
Nice.
Which is where the show is based.
Cool.
Or the fictional
Theoryverse.
Basically, yes. Yes. And last week we talked about Amazing Fantasy number 15, a copy that was going up for auction. It sold for $454,100.
Damn.
It didn't quite make $500,000.
Okay.
But it was
Close
over
enough.
400.
Almost $500,000, so we can still say it.
That's right. Yeah, we
still
can
say it with the sexy way.
Yep, exactly. So
Okay, good.
And our long national nightmare will be over soon.
Why?
Doctor Who will begin streaming on Amazon Prime starting in March.
Perfect. Good.
So that kind of explains why it disappeared from Netflix.
Yeah, they lateraled it to the other streaming service. Okay,
Exactly.
That's great. Good, because I was like, man, I kind of feel like watching it.
I know. Yeah,
Now that it was gone.
Yeah, that really bugged me because I mean, I was just gonna basically go with BBC American, whatever
Try
order
to
they
record
throw
them
up.
as they throw them out. Yeah.
But
now you can watch on demand, right? And
Yep.
go to episodes that Carpenter and you find,
Yes.
right? We can recommend.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
so
'cause
Amazon Prime.
I like going in order. That's the thing because you never know when you're going to run across something that was explained before.
Has arc.
Yeah. So I like going in order. So, but that's our giblets section or tidbits of things that happen. Let's transition right into our movie and TV news.
And yes, Timmy D. Hello.
Hello.
So this is my first crack at movie and TV news. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous. Okay. All right, I'm over it. All right, so huge week, right? This is the so many things coming back, big moments on our favorite shows. But let's start off first with the Daredevil Season 2 trailer, which is the second trailer.
Yes.
Right? And now we saw him, Matthew and Elektra kicking some serious tail.
Yeah, they were like back to back, fighting it out with
Yakuza.
ninjas.
Yeah, with the Yakuza, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. I'm glad that's now because the fighting will be better, right? Like Kingpin was a bruiser, right? And like still kicked major tail, but yeah, I think this Yakuza sort of, was Yakuza's what? Japanese?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, that was part of the group that Kingpin was with. One of them was, I believe, if I remember correctly.
In that group of elite gangsters?
Yeah, because she says, in the trailer, she says the Yakuza's not gone.
Right, they hibernated.
Yeah.
And then they came back after Daredevil ran everybody out of town, all the bad guys.
Yeah, so I think that was part of Kingpin's little inner circle.
Okay.
Like with the owl and the old Japanese lady. There was another Japanese guy in that.
And he was the Yakuza representative?
So. Yeah.
Well, we got to see Elektra really do some great stuff. We saw John Barenthal as Punisher fire off a couple rounds and then headbutt Matthew as well. So they're going to get along great. It's really fantastic. And then I love Rosario Dawson's line, "This isn't your city anymore."
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, wow. It sort of shows that, like, Murdoch got a little obsessive maybe about justice. And that, maybe now having Punisher and Elektra around.
Yeah. And I think in the first trailer, the line the Barenthal gives him is like, "You're one bad day away from being me."
Yeah.
And I think that is going to strike a lot with him. And you saw the thing with Fozzie. Foggy. Fozzie, not the bear. Foggy. Nelson.
Waka waka.
They're really
tension.
Yeah,
yeah. Lot of tension. He's like, how many times do I have to come see you beat up and almost dead? Before this is too late.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of Karen though. She sort of popped in for a second.
Yeah,
but
it was like one shot, but yeah.
So she might not be major, or I don't know. Maybe something will happen. But this is going to be really exciting. March 18th comes out.
Yeah.
Netflix starts streaming.
Cannot wait for this.
So we're pumped. Okay, so March 19th we will be out of work.
Yes, we'll be calling in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. March 18th is a Friday. Is that right?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's
We
when
got
it
the
starts.
weekend.
So it's boom, straight away.
So I'll be unreachable for the weekend.
That's right. Yeah, the Sopranos light will be on.
Yes.
Yeah. But we also saw on Sunday, we saw we saw Rick and Michonne make love.
That's right.
As our friend Nerdist said, apocalypse and chill.
Yes.
Which was brilliant. So they had a real human moment, and like what a lot of fans have been calling for a long time.
Yeah,
to
there's
see
been a
them
lot
connect.
of people that Well,
did it.
in the comic books,
Yeah, do they hook up?
no.
Oh.
It was actually Andrea, who is still alive in the comics,
Oh,
and Rick get together.
okay. But Andrew's dead.
She's dead. Yeah.
Since the governor. We did see that while in the woods, Carl was somehow had the new issue of Invincible.
Oh, that was awesome.
That might be. I didn't realize that until one of our super fans who posted a super close-up shot with their mega 4K TV.
Yeah.
Realized that. They can also smell his cologne apparently. But he's doing this all now with.
Let me tell you something. That's the last thing we want to do is smell The Walking Dead, because those people have. Well, they can shower now, but I bet you that's a pungent universe right there.
Funky crew.
Yeah, it's a funky crew.
Yes. Oh my God. But some interesting stuff going on outside. We did see the son of the former leader of the community, who was the congresswoman, go out and slay her.
Yeah,
because
that's what he was looking for. They were wondering why. Michonne was wondering why he was leaving.
Every day
he's looking for her,
right?
Because he knew she was out there somewhere and he wanted to put her to rest. So
and he found her just so happens to be by herself.
Yes,
and took her down.
Thankfully.
So yeah, that was a tough scene. But then, oh my God, who is this character Jesus?
Oh, he's awesome. He is a runner for the Hilltop community.
I mean, some of the stuff he did was straight impossible.
Yeah,
they tied him up, but then he was somehow
but
on
he
the
was
roof.
on the roof. Yeah, that one I didn't really get. I don't know how that actually happened. But the whole and I think you posted it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
The little chase. Yeah.
Yeah, the Benny Hill, the yakety sax.
The Benny Hill yakety sax.
Hilarious.
Accompanying the whole chase through the meadow there was hilarious.
Because Daryl kind of like stumbles a couple times, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
man, with the music, it's and then Rick's faces like a couple of times, close-ups of him going, huh?
I just loved that. Okay, they finally caught him. Jesus gets Daryl's gun and says duck. So Daryl ducks. He shoots the zombie behind him.
Yeah.
Then he comes and punches him, and Daryl grabs his gun back. Goes, my gun. It's like, like he's off. All of a sudden he's like 6 years old.
I didn't get that, And then the loss of the truck from that
sucked.
sorghum farm. Oh,
Yeah.
Man, that was so much food. Just
That
gone.
sucked. And you're starting to see Eugene take more of a role. In the comics, he gets to where he's a vital member of the community.
Nice.
Because he learns how to make ammo.
Ah, great.
So he basically sets up a factory,
a little smelter, and just starts to
producing
forge
ammo.
Oh, great. Yeah, right.
But
He makes a mold and
he's starting to step up, and he's able to go, okay, yeah, we need the sorghum because we can do lots of good things with it.
wow.
What was he said? I forget now the weird little phrase he used, something like hunky dory or something like that.
Oh no,
I don't remember
I missed
exactly
that,
what it
yeah.
was. And Rick and Daryl just stared at him, and he was like, yeah, "We need it." It was like, okay, they're not getting it.
But I guess this is this new person. They got him locked up. They're gonna see if we can. Yeah, this is gonna make us a new connection to the community.
Yeah, it connects them to the larger world, and that actually was the part of the story arc. The name of it was the larger world, because they then get exposed to there's a hilltop community, and then there's another place called the Kingdom.
Oh,
and the Gregory, the leader of the hilltop community, is the one who tells them about Negan's group.
Oh, so it's hilltop friendly?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
So then Jesus is.
Yes,
they're going to have
he's
this
cool.
scuffle.
Yeah, he's very cool.
But then he's going to be a good guy, more or less.
Yeah, he
good.
basically he wanted their truck back. That was, I mean, he never tried to hurt them.
Yeah.
He just wanted the truck back.
Oh, was that his truck?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, because it was in that sorghum farm. It seemed like
maybe
no one
it wasn't.
touched it.
Maybe he just wanted the truck.
Could be hungry. Yeah.
But I did see today. They said that Negan will appear in the finale for this season.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the descriptor was he'll push the limits of the AMC's language policies.
Oh God.
Which they've got to. I mean, seriously, in the comic book, Negan, every other word is the F word.
It's the F word.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm going to be
gonna
interested to see how they do this.
Well, it was a great episode this
really
week. Good. You know, Rick and Michonne hooking up was very satisfying.
Yeah,
very
and then
satisfying.
I'm sure for them too. And and you see how resourceful Jesus is, because he was tied up and he broke out and got into their bedroom.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was so. Yeah.
But again, he proved right there again, if he wanted to kill them, they'd be dead.
He could have. Oh, absolutely. And been out, and no one would have known.
Yep.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have known any different. Yeah.
So moving along here to Supergirl, which was another really good episode. We saw Master Jailer, who is sort of this. He's a Superman villain. I guess I did some research. In the comics, he was a Smallville kid that had some problems with Superboy.
Oh.
And then when he grew up, he learned to be a master of security systems. That's what his powers were.
Okay.
But in the show, they handled him a little more differently. He's more mech and warrior and stuff. So I sort of compared him like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
He did really look that with the chains.
Yeah, with the chains, and then he looked like a ring wraith from Lord of the Rings, but like a future one. So that was really cool. You had caught that. I guess Master Jailer made some comment about somebody who we thought might be Lobo.
No, it was Hank and Alex.
Hank and
when
Alex.
they were trying to figure out who he was before they figured out that he was Master Jailer.
They thought
Yeah,
that makes sense.
They were sitting around the table, and Supergirl was there, and they're trying to figure out who would be chasing down aliens.
Right.
And Hank says it's like some kind of galactic bounty hunter. And Alex and Hank they both look alarmed, and they look at each other, and Alex says, "You don't think?" And Hank says, "No, if he was in town, we would know."
Yeah.
What other galactic bounty hunter that's a he is there?
If they do Lobo on the show,
dude, I'm
can't wait.
It's just
if he's on his space bike.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With the fishies.
Yeah.
I love Lobo.
We got a sort of a tidbit for next week, I suppose. That Red Kryptonite is coming, or maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when it is. They just posted pictures today and I guess this is the Red Kryptonite is the cause of all this, but she's in a new uniform that look like Nons.
Right. So the all black with the little S crest.
Yeah.
On the pocket type of place. So what again does Red Kryptonite do? It depowers?
No, it turns them evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Green Kryptonite takes away their powers. Red Kryptonite makes them evil and sometimes unexpected. And then Kryptonite X. Will we ever see that? I wonder.
I don't know.
Kara is supposed to create it, right? Or at least she did in the comics.
I think. Let me.
Kryptonite X, I believe.
Let me pull up the Kryptonite.
I read that in the DC Super Pets book. Because of Kryptonite X. showing
Red
up.
creates bizarre behavior and transformations. X-Kryptonite was created by Supergirl in an unsuccessful attempt to find an antidote to green kryptonite. It's harmless to Kryptonians and gives normal life forms superhuman abilities, such as Supergirl's pet cat, Streaky.
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
And
See?
it was reintroduced in 1980 and shown to have the same effect on humans as green does on Kryptonians. So it
weakens humans.
It weakens humans.
More so than we already are.
Exactly, yeah.
Blah.
Aren't we bad enough?
Yeah. So those are some cool things. This was a really good episode. I'm almost caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I've now watched the last 2 live, and I've been catching up on the other ones. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm pretty much there.
They're real, yeah. They've got their legs under them now, and they're producing a really good TV show.
And 2 areas of conflict now that are sort of in Kara's life. One is Siobhan, the new assistant that Kat Grant hired, who's like out for her job.
Evil, just evil.
She says, "I want to
Straight
beat
evil.
Kat," Kat Grant one day.
Yeah.
And then James Olsen, who they put Maxwell Lord in a cell after what went down an episode ago, and Kara thought, well, yeah, if he's away, then fine, he won't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Olsen knows, and he's feeling this moral dilemma, and then he relays to Kara that if you got this much power, then you need to be better. Right?
Yeah.
You can't just lock people up. Who's next? All this stuff.
Yeah, that exactly sums up my issue with Man of Steel. With him
movie.
killing Zod. It's like, and that's the whole thing with Superman. He has so much power. He could do anything he wants. He has to be better.
Mm-hmm.
He has to operate under the moral, and that's the thing. The morals that the Kents gave him is what keeps him from being evil.
Yeah,
Because he's got the power to do anything he wants.
right.
And
It'd be easy.
Yeah, exactly. So and when Jimmy said that to her, you could tell that made an impact, and she started thinking about it, because it's a slippery slope. You justify, Max Lord, he's a bad guy, so we keep him locked up.
Right.
No due process, and Jimmy brought that up too. No due process, no trial. You just decide he's got to stay here. It's a slippery slope. You justify that, then what's the next justification, and then the next justification, and you end up becoming the dictator.
Yeah, you've got no credibility.
Yeah.
No longer. So that was a really interesting episode this go around. We looked also at Flash, which was another huge episode. Oh my God,
A cliffhanger.
seriously.
Because now we're in a dry spot until March 22nd for Flash.
So we saw at the previous episode they had come back from Earth 2, and just as they were coming over, spoiler alert, we'll let you know, the Hand of Zoom comes through and kills Jay just as they were
I like that.
about to escape. Well, Jay was on Earth.
He was on Earth 1, yeah.
helping them back in, and then he was too close to the breach, and he got stabbed through the vibrating hand.
Yes.
And he supposedly died. He got sucked in,
Yeah,
right?
he got pulled back. Yeah.
Into Earth 2 again, and supposedly died.
Yeah.
So that was whoa. And then it was like a weird session between Cisco and Caitlin. He kept thinking that every time she was angry that she was becoming Killer Frost.
Because Harrison Wells told them not to tell anybody what happened over there and who they were over there.
Right.
And so because he didn't want to, if telling them might push them closer to being that or something like that. And it was like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, right. Because he knows and he's not,
Yeah, exactly.
But that forced Barry to not say anything to Joe and Iris.
Which was tearing him up.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then same thing for Cisco and Caitlin. They couldn't speak about it. And then we had Diggle, right, was on the show. So Diggle and his wife.
King Shark.
Yeah, came to
How
represent
awesome
Argus.
did he look?
He looked so good, man. And he had the perfect voice, and he was oh, man. And it was like, especially with the water, when Flash was running on the water.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, oh, man, he's going to catch him and take him underwater and stuff.
Yeah.
Even the promo for it on CW had Jaws
Played
look
off on Jaws,
to it.
yeah. That was really good.
He's like, we're going to need a bigger Flash. Which is a great line. Thank you, Cisco.
He's always got some of the best stuff.
He really does.
Yeah. But really, before we got to the end of this week's episode and we got the reveal of who Zoom was.
Right.
I was wondering, because if you go back and watch the end of the return from Earth 2, Jay throws the football into the breach, and it's starting to close. He steps 3 steps up to be right next to the breach. Then he turns and looks back at them. It's almost as if he was placing himself in that spot to be pulled back through.
I mean, do you think that it's one of those like flash images, like when the Flash can make a vibrational copy of himself?
I don't know if you could do that through a breach. Well, we also just to say, we've got the reveal of who Zoom is.
Yeah.
At the end of this episode, he
big.
takes off his mask while he's carrying that body of Jay. He takes off his mask, and it's Jay Garrick.
Which is like...
So again, it answers one question, but it opens up like 5 other ones.
Well, we know Zoom absorbed Jay's speed. So
Yes.
maybe in doing so, he can look like him some way, right? Because we saw Reverse Flash originally, Eobard Thawne, look like Wells.
But that was technology that he had from the future.
Oh, that made his face look like that?
Made him able to do that.
Yeah.
But Andrew Kressberg they released an interview, basically like simultaneous with the end of the episode. They released an interview with him where he confirmed that Zoom is Hunter Zolomon. He didn't say Jay Garrick. He said Hunter Zolomon.
Okay.
Which in the show, Jay showed Caitlin Earth 1 Jay Garrick had been adopted and was named Hunter Zolomon. So you now have in the interview, Kressberg actually implied that Zoom has been the Jay that we've known all along. That he's been there impersonating Jay Garrick, and there all along in their midst. Because you think about it, Zoom and Jay were never seen together.
No, never.
At least on Earth 1.
Only spoken about.
Yeah, only talked about. But then, right there at the end, Zoom was on Earth 2, fighting them over there. Jay was back on Earth 1. So that obviously couldn't be the same person. And
Jay does the Hadouken on Geomancer, right?
Yeah, but he had velocity. He had been given a velocity 7
or 8 or whatever. Yeah.
So it obviously at the end of this episode, it was 2 people, but they look just alike.
Yeah,
and then you also have the man in the mask.
Oh, right. Who we don't know who that is.
Who looked freaked out when Zoom came back carrying Jay's body. He looked extremely freaked out. And you got to look at the eye, and it looked like
Jay's eye.
It looked like a blue eye. I mean, granted, you're just seeing the eye, so you can't say for sure. But like I said, it's the perfect cliffhanger because you answer a question that everybody wants to know the answer to, but then you open up like 4 other questions that you have to wait for. Now.
Yeah, right. Is it John Wesley Shipp maybe in there? Is it Eobard Thawne in there as well? It could be anybody connected to it.
Yeah. But he freaked out with the when they were figuring out what he was knocking, the code that he was knocking.
Yeah, it was some weird code.
He was spelling out J, and when Barry realized, you mean J, and he was like excitedly saying yes, and he said, well, he didn't come with us. That's when the man in the mask started freaking out. So that's why the rumor was that was actually Jay in the mask, and who we knew as Jay was an imposter.
Interesting.
So
I'm trying to see here, and this is just I'm trying to go through all the people that we've been sort of dealing with. Mm-hmm. The man in the mask. Could it be Wally? Could it be a Wally West of that?
Could be. But why would he be so freaked out that Jay? They understood what he was saying with Jay, but then he's upset because he's not here. Or he was on Earth 1.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm wondering. All right, well, we're gonna see. I mean, it's oh man.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
You just got me in like I feel like a telephone operator in 1940 trying
to figure all these different things out. Yeah,
that's a lot to deal with. Yeah, because
it's a perfect cliffhanger.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, they revealed that Jay was Zoom. He took off the thing and he looks kind of back at the camera like.
So this is a complication.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe he has some way to make
copies of
Copies
himself
of
or
himself.
some sort. Yeah, I wonder. Or I don't know. It could be
Twins are kind of a recurring thing in the Flash mythology.
Oh, really?
So I mean, because
Bart had twins, right? Bart Allen? Yeah, right?
no, Barry had twins.
Oh, Barry had twins.
Barry had twins, and one of them was the parent of Bart.
Ah, okay.
And
Did
then
Wally
there was
have
another.
twins?
Yes, Wally had twins when he
With Linda
when he
Park.
got married to Linda Park.
Right.
He had twins.
Because he grabbed them and brought them into the future in
Yep.
Infinite Crisis.
Yeah,
Oy. Yeah, so they're this was a really
they've
good...
done their job well.
They really have. Yeah, right. They really have. And Cisco is also working on his Vive glasses.
Yep.
Trying to get the frequency, because he took them from whoever.
Reverb. Yeah,
From Reverb in Earth 2, and I guess he's going to try and tune them for this world to
Yeah.
see if they work.
that'd be awesome.
It'd be really awesome if you get his powers. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be really fantastic.
Yep.
And then, so it was cool to see Diggle and Mrs. Diggle come over and represent Argus and bring Arrow into the mix a little bit.
And they reveal now that Lila is the new director of Argus.
Right, since Amanda
Yep.
is gone, right? And then I think Diggle said, capturing King Shark was a Amanda Waller project that we
Yeah.
came to finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Argus is now going to be a much kindler, gentler organization.
Well, the DEO's going down, so.
Yeah.
And then Barry was saying, "Oh, Felicity hasn't returned my calls. Right?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?" So like he doesn't quite know yet what the deal is.
Well, I think he knows that she's in a wheelchair.
Right.
But Diggle was just saying, it takes some people a while to process things. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot going on.
I like though that they're still keeping that going. And then maybe this we can transition here to Arrow. I know you haven't watched it yet.
No, I have not.
Shame on you.
But go ahead. Yeah. Hey, I had to announce basketball last night. So.
Basketball.
But they lost. So.
So boo. So, do you feel like cheated after you announce an entire game with someone?
I was getting excited, and I have to keep it on an even keel and not get excited while I'm doing the PA announcing. But it was a really cool game. They tied it up, went to overtime,
Nice.
but then lost. Wah, wah. But anyway, go ahead.
You're just pooping on me here.
Yeah.
Poop.
Who?
So cool episode. We saw a lot. Gosh, there was still Thea and Merlin sort of going back and forth, and we got Vixen. Yeah, Vixen came from Detroit because Damien Dark now is like shutting Oliver down wherever he possibly can. Damn, Damien Dark would grab Oliver and force hold him.
Yeah.
He was very much like a Sith Lord. That's
Yeah.
how he fought the whole team and everything. So he had to reveal to Felicity that he's got a son, and she she's real pissed. It's a mid-season or another break time, right?
Yeah.
So they revealed quite a bit.
Okay.
So we got Vixen.
Did she use the animal powers?
Oh yeah,
and
her
everything?
talisman.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, it was great. I mean, she would
Yeah.
she would touch it and say something like, and then all of a sudden
became a wolf and.
Well, she wouldn't change, but a
Yeah,
blue mist.
Yeah, blue mist come. Oh, so they did that whole thing. Yeah, that's
Totally.
exactly what she would do in the comics.
And when she would punch the air, a big claw would grab.
that's awesome.
It was really
That's
cool.
gonna be cool.
A lot of cool stuff happening with the flashback. So they're digging in the island towards some place that's under the island that has special powers. So whoever that African American guy is that's sort of leading the commandos,
Baron. Yeah.
Baron Blitzkrieg, or
it was supposed to be Blitzkrieg, from the comics.
Yeah.
That's who it is, but it's I forget what they're calling him on the show.
okay, I've forgotten too.
Yeah.
But he is like, oh, Oliver, and keeps believing in him. And something with the tattoo is really important.
Yeah.
That
Because
allows
Constantine
Oliver.
did that.
Right. He
Yeah.
took it and put it on him, giving him some magical spiritual access. So that's what this episode was really all about, was about magical powers.
Okay.
That the team just felt powerless against Dark because he's got magic, and how do we combat magic? And they're like, well, we can call Constantine. And then Oliver goes, well, he's in hell.
Well, there you go.
And then they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's actually in hell right now. And then everybody's like, what? And they kind of processed that for a second. It was a really great little subtle line. It was really cool. Trying to think what else is going on. So the Do you remember last episode when Mr. Terrific made that chip for Felicity?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been installed, but she tries in the beginning to walk, and it's immediate failure.
Yeah.
So you'll see that sort of very early on. Huge battle with Dark and Vixen and the whole team.
Cool.
So all right, so the funeral scene, right? Oh, and,
Did we
and
finally
then,
get there?
no,
Okay.
this makes you
Another
wonder
one.
about the funeral scene because
Okay.
the theory you had about Damien Dark killing the boy, it don't
Wouldn't
come
it?
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. 'Cause that would really suck.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil you on this one, but Dark is defeated.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, in this episode. I won't tell you how or how it goes down, like you do to me all the time. But but it really challenges your theory about Dark killing William.
Yes, William was his name.
Right.
Or is his name.
And William was his name. Oh. But that kid is obviously a hostage of Dark.
Okay.
And then the mother, the old girlfriend, she comes back into the scene. She sees Laurel. She meets Felicity.
Oh, okay.
So basically, sorry, another spoiler, Oliver has to reveal to her that he's the Arrow.
Yeah.
He just kind of has to, because
Yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
well,
What's going on here? Why,
exactly. Yeah, right. Why would this happen? Why would this guy
Yeah.
come to my city, take the boy?
Yeah.
So that all gets revealed, and she's just like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
walking around the lair and everything and seeing everything. And okay, I'll say no more. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, the ending is great. Of course,
Sweet.
they leave the cliffhanger. Just
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Vixen, because a little note on Vixen. She was once part of the Justice League
Oh.
with Vibe.
Oh. Wow. So they might
Possibly
be
the worst iteration of the Justice League, but it was the Detroit. They were actually based in Detroit.
Yeah, that's where, because they go
That's
to
where she's
Detroit
from,
and
yeah.
you see her, just tearing up bad guys. But Legends of Tomorrow, of course, we're going to talk about last week's episode, and then this week's episode is on tonight during our Comic Book Thursday here. So, the team's starting to get along a lot better. They're starting to find their roles. They're supporting each other, right? We're seeing, what's his name, Heatwave?
Yes.
He's actually kind of a decent guy.
Yep.
Yeah, despite
Yeah.
his...
He's got a sense of honor.
He really does. Like a
Really
soldier.
does.
Yeah, like a
Yep.
soldier. But he constantly jokes about how he wants to go on the morphine drip in Med Bay. That he's going to do that for the next few hours. So if you want to see him, you can find him there. Now, Sarah and Shiara are like,
Yes.
they're benched, quote unquote, by Rip during some of the missions. And they're like fighting and really getting into it. And Shiara's like really starting to come into her own as Hawk Girl and kicking butt. She's a great fighter when she's got wings out.
Yeah.
But Sarah, we keep hearing the like when she's about to like really hurt
Yeah.
her.
She's going over
The bloodlust might still be there, right? Despite Constantine taking it away.
supposedly taking it away. But again, it also might be just. I mean, she was trained by the League of Assassins,
Right.
So maybe it's just.
That training
The
coming
training.
back.
Yeah.
But they played the little flute, and
They give you that little mystical
damn,
thing. Yeah.
that's it. There it is. It's coming back.
Yeah.
So we were meant to sort of wonder now, does she still have that bloodlust or not, or however. But super cool. At the end, they end up in Star City of 2046, and they meet a new Green Arrow, who's standing like up on the thing, and he still has the voice and everything and whatnot.
Bust them up.
But then Ray Palmer says, "Hey, Ollie, it's us, the Legends."
Yeah.
He's supposed to remember. And then that new arrow says, "I don't know any legends," and then shoots a glowing green arrow at them that kind of explodes. Is it kryptonite?
No.
I'm like, well, what's that gonna do?
No, I'm just kidding.
That's horrible. Yeah. But some cool stuff. I know, like we were in Russia not too long ago, and then they were trying to build the other Firestorm, and we saw Martin Stein and the Russian woman merge.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Doctor, have you ever merged with a woman?" Which was kind of cool. She was badass.
Yeah.
But then
Would you see when you take Martin Stein out of it, how quickly she just, lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have the containment, then she can't control it. She went meltdown pretty quick.
Yeah.
I just loved how for Sarah, the voice of reason was Captain Cold.
Yeah,
And again, he has a sense of honor.
he really does, and he is smooth as
Oh yeah.
get out. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love the translators. Like when Rip gives them the pill, and he's
Yeah.
like instant translators, and
Yeah.
then they just start busting out the Russian. That was really cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So we've moved from like the 70s to the 80s roughly, and we're sort of seeing these little moments. Savage was a weird this time around. He was like,
He almost vibed when he realized Shiera was there. It was almost like he had a vibe moment.
oh right, because he had that.
He had like
That
he was
connection.
like staggered and like
Yeah.
he saw like flashes of her. Yeah. So yeah, it really like threw him for a loop for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he really looked like Rufus. Like his hair is sort of different. He was a little bit styled differently, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
and I think they're probably struggling with that. They have to make him look different enough
each go. Right.
that he looks that you can tell he's moving through different eras. But yeah,
Right.
that's got to be a difficult thing to do.
And he acted really upbeat and positive.
Yeah.
Versus more brooding and dark like he's been in the past. So that was
was on
strange. Yeah. Right. He's
The 80s. Nobody got hurt in the 80s.
It's just all cocaine. Yeah, right. It's just like, yeah. So that was cool. So we'll see what happens, I guess, tonight with the new episode of Legends, which is very exciting. Now, Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Chris Evans loved the Deadpool movie so much and said that the cussing was his favorite part. Just don't tell Captain America or Kevin Feige or his mom.
Or his mom, yeah. Because he had tweeted that he loved it, and then Robert Downey Jr. Tweeted and said, "Well, how can you love it with all that language in it?" And he goes, "No, the cussing was my favorite part, but don't tell anybody."
Yeah, right. Well, that's cute. I like how he keeps things boyhood there, even though he was like a sassy Human Torch, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And then in the bar that they frequent, there's a huge Deadpool, in quotes, right? The real Deadpool, where people guess who's going to die that year. And some of the names on it, Shia LaBeouf, Bill Cosby, Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, who is in the bar.
Who's in the bar.
Yes.
Awesome. Ryan Reynolds. No,
Yes.
this is the redemption year. Come on. T.J. Miller?
That's the guy who plays Weasel
Weasel?
in the movie.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet, so sorry. Mike Tyson. Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy
Oh.
Osbourne is on there.
Vladimir Putin. Miley Cyrus. All right. Kanye West. Lindsay Lohan and Charlie Sheen.
Let's face it, Charlie Sheen should be at the top of any Deadpool because
Yeah.
he could die at any moment.
Some of these are these are
Yeah.
very unstable people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, Charlie Sheen should be at the top of any Deadpool. But that was the whole thing in the bar. It's a mercenary bar,
Yeah.
and so it's morbid as hell because these are guys that frequent the bar,
Oh my God.
and they have their name up there. And Weasel's upset because when Wade finds out that he has cancer, he's upset because he had him in the Deadpool like 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And like he has to admit to him, and he's like, dude.
Yeah, right. Couldn't you just wait?
Yeah, it's I saw it last week, and it is hilarious from the opening credits on. It's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I can't wait.
It is so awesome.
I'm gonna go. I think next week? No, week after spring break.
Okay,
So I'm gonna go when we got some time off. And,
Yeah.
I think that'll be fantastic. But Deadpool mentions his hometown of Regina, Saskatchewan.
Regina.
Regina.
Yes, rhymes with the best thing
Yeah,
ever. He
with
actually
Regina?
makes that.
Okay.
He makes that joke in the movie too.
I've actually heard of this place, and
Yeah, he actually he's doing like a his own internal monologue. He's doing like it's in the middle of the bridge fight.
Okay.
And there's a guy like who's on all fours, and he's like lining up a field goal. He's like, and the hometown boy from Regina, Saskatchewan. So he mentions it in the movie. So
Oh,
that
nice.
set people crazy.
Is that where Ryan Reynolds is from? Or is that supposed to be where Deadpool
I don't know.
is from?
That's where Deadpool is supposed to be
Fictionally from.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That makes
not
sense.
sure
And I'm sure
where.
people in Regina are thrilled.
Well, some of them are.
Yeah.
Not the mayor.
Anybody? Oh, why?
Because they started a petition to have a statue erected in there
Deadpool?
of Deadpool. Yeah, and the mayor's response was he posted the link to the petition on his Facebook page with the one-word comment, "Nope."
Oh, boo.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is from Vancouver.
Okay.
So,
well, all right.
He's a Canuck.
He sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a show that I think only you watch.
That's not true.
Okay. Chuck watches it too.
Maybe.
Yeah. Ward's villain identity has been revealed as Hive, a character that takes on the attributes of the people he kills. So it's not the organization because this is Marvel.
No, exactly. Yeah, this is a different Hive.
Different Hive.
Because he was actually, Phil had actually seemingly killed him.
You don't call him Coulson anymore?
I'm closer now to him, so I call him Phil.
You guys went out for drinks or something?
Yeah, we went out for drinks. Yeah, they had teleported to another planet.
Okay.
Through the monolith that they've been studying the whole time, and they went and got Simmons had gotten stuck over there, so they went and got her, and they were getting ready to go back. Ward was over there, and basically Coulson had to make the choice. He's like, okay, this needs to end now. He needs to just go away. And he used his mechanical hand. He got his hand cut off.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He has now a mechanical hand, and he just basically put it on his chest and pushed until you heard a crack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
But there was this evil entity on that planet that jumped into Ward and merged with him.
Oh, possessed him
yes.
in some way.
So now, it saved him, but now he's become this villain.
Evil.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he was already
that's
evil.
interesting.
But yeah, it was pretty brutal because Fitz was there and was like, just leave him. He was telling Coulson, like, just leave him. He'll stay here. We jump through. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
And Coulson was like, no, this needs to be done. And he went and killed him.
And
so it was pretty brutal.
He gave him lethal CPR.
Yeah, exactly. Like really hard CPR.
So in the mid-season premiere, the Absorbing Man and Crusher Creel.
No, that's the same dude.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Absorbing Man, that's his name, Crusher Creel.
Yes.
All right.
I love the Absorbing Man. From the old cartoons when I was a kid. I don't know why. He was big, huge, ball-headed guy, and he always carried the
ball and chain?
the wrecking ball. Yeah, ball and chain.
Oh, with the jailer pants.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Was he a Spider-Man
Yes.
villain? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
He would do. Yeah, he would jump from different ones. He would be in Thor and Spider-Man. Yeah, like I said, when I watched the cartoons when I was a kid, when he was on there and he actually picked up a wrecking ball, I was just like, ah!
Was this like Spider-Man, His
awesome.
Amazing Friends?
Yeah.
Like with Starfire and Firestar and Iceman?
Iceman, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see him in live action.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, right. Spinning that
that
thing with CG.
And actually, if you in Daredevil, if you look in the gym when he's working at the boxing gym when he's working out,
Crusher Creel?
there's a poster that's battling Jack Murdock versus Crusher Creel.
No, is that an Easter egg or is that real?
No, that's real.
Oh,
because
wow.
that's the thing. Crusher Creel used to be a boxer. And he went to jail, and he's old enough now to have been a young guy fighting Jack Murdock.
Oh, wow. Who was a little older.
Yeah.
Yeah, battling Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll be cool for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Roger Corman, who's the creator of Death Race 2000, right? When did that come out, Death Race 2000?
Oh, that was in the 70s?
Yeah.
I think.
It was always such a cool-looking movie poster and overall, right? Racing out in the desert. I mean, it was...
Yeah.
Now they're getting ready to a remake sequel called Death Race 2050.
Yes, it was 1975.
75.
Yeah.
Cool. Were you old enough to be around for that?
I was 4 years old.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't going to see Death Race 2000.
Oh.
Definitely not.
Nice. The Deadpool of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with this original cult classic, it's a post-apocalyptic world. The corporate government keeps the public placated with violent virtual reality entertainment. The biggest of which is the Death Race, a cross-country road race where the racers score points by running down pedestrians and killing each other.
If you've ever played the game Carmageddon,
Oh,
It's it.
sweet.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
great. That's a 90s game, right? Carmageddon?
Yeah.
Cool.
Which they're putting out a new version of it. You can play it on iPad.
Oh, man. All the good games, right? We were
Yeah.
talking about Descent last week, and that's
Yeah,
back, or
that's
whatever
back,
the
yeah.
new one that's funded. Fantastic. Gold Rush. No, so the reigning champion is a half-man, half-machine Frankenstein, who's played by the Kung Fu master himself, David Carradine.
Yes.
In the original, and a guy named Manu Bennett in the new version.
That you may have heard of
Who's
from
that from?
Arrow, Deathstroke. That's who plays Deathstroke.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, he's gonna be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, he's gonna be so good.
Yeah, and Malcolm McDowell is going to play the chairman, like the guy in charge of
Who runs the whole thing? Yeah, like the host.
Yeah.
Oh, Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm
man,
McDowell
he's
is just-
classic
it's
guy.
awesome.
Yeah, he's so evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Even in Star Trek, right? Generations.
Yeah.
He was a jerk. Yeah. Great news in the cyberpunk world. Blade Runner 2 is officially scheduled to be released on January 12th, 2018.
Yeah, now that we have a date on it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we can set vacation now.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
And great news from your man Jack. Kurt Russell has been cast in Guardians of the Galaxy. No word on who he's playing.
Yeah.
I think Rocket Raccoon's dad.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I think it may be.
Who do you think it's going to be? Yeah.
I mean, with him, it could be, although...
I mean, he's snarky. He's a little older now. He's an action dude.
Yeah.
So,
My first thought was Star-Lord's dad.
yeah, Mr. Quill Senior.
But his mom said that he was
Special,
like
right?
a glowing... he glowed like an angel. I don't see Kurt Russell as an angel.
So that would have to be Adam Warlock, which is what most people think.
That's what most people assume it's going to be. It's not. I forget who his dad was in the comic books, but they specifically said it
remember.
won't be who it is in the comics. So
Okay.
they're creating something which I assume will be Adam Warlock, especially when she made the comment that that he glowed like an angel. That sounds like
that kind of
Warlock.
gives that away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kurt Russell could be one of the Ravagers.
That could be true.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, right.
You imagine him with Yondo,
Yeah,
all painted blue. That'd be cool.
that'd be very cool.
Right? I mean, just having Kurt Russell in it is going to be cool. So
Yeah. So there was, let's see, this was on Cinema Blend here, just about 2 months ago here. Kurt Russell, I literally got a phone call 2 days ago about this. I've never seen Guardians of the Galaxy, so I don't know anything about it. Many times I've heard that it's a really fun movie, a really good movie with great characters. I don't know it, so I didn't realize that James Gunn had written and directed it, but we talked to each other on the phone, and I just had to be honest and say thank you for considering me. I have read the script, and I have to watch the first movie because I can't bring anything for you right now. I've got nothing to offer here, so I'm amazed to get asked about this because he knows more about it than I do. It's a little weird. So,
is there a paycheck involved?
yeah, right. I guess, yeah. Will there be a low band wedding?
That's right.
I wonder, could he be an older Marvel?
Oh,
And then they bring in
maybe.
like Kree,
Yeah.
because they already brought in Ronan, who is a Kree.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really allude to that too much, but I wonder.
They did acknowledge that he was Kree.
Beginning of it, when he gets
Yeah.
his armor and clean and stuff, is he on Kree planet
so,
or
yeah.
and stuff? Okay.
I think so.
Well, I mean, Kurt has the flowy hair.
Yeah.
He could be a really cool older Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel. I mean, that'd be pretty
cool,
interesting.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, that could be our idea about where this goes. But we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to spin the comic rack.
That's right.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good. With a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hi, I'm John Carter with WBTV News, formerly of Off the Wall Comics, and I am big into geekdom and comic books, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast with a kick.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And we want to talk about where I was last Saturday. Unfortunately, Mike couldn't make the trip with me, but myself and Jonathan Rosenbaum from Imagination went up to the Morganton Comic-Con and met all the cool people up there. It was a really good crowd. It actually, I think they said they had 800 or 900 people through there.
For that little
10
Comic-Con.
to 5, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a very good crowd. Yeah, and there was a lot of great things. There was a lot of, and unfortunately, my table was sitting right next to a vendor, and he had his $1 box right there, like within reaching distance of me, which is a bad thing because I can't say no to a $1 box.
Wait, so you were?
I gotta go through.
While you were sitting there? Oh man, I might find it a gem.
Exactly.
I need some pop collar.
I didn't know what was in there. That was the part that killed me.
Yeah, he must have made a good sign.
I had to go over there and see.
Nice.
Yeah, the only thing the sign had to say was $1, and I'm all over it. Come on,
That's it.
And actually, I bought probably about 4 or 5.
Nice.
So
I'm still working on my neighbor. He's whittling through his collection. I'm telling you, dude. When you see
Awesome.
this collection, it's massive.
Cool.
4 industrial shelves
Wow.
of long boxes.
wow.
And he's trying to go through them all and pick out his blue chips. And I'm like,
Yikes.
dude, we're going to be 50 by the time you do this. So, like, just, please. I'm like, I know somebody who will come in and will seriously ravage what you have. So, like,
Don't rush the OCD.
he's got good stuff, yeah. He told me he's got Emerald Twilight.
Oh wow,
Like the run of it, yeah.
Sweet.
With Hal Jordan stuff.
yeah, with the crazy
Tom Brady
all the
look on his
rings
face,
yeah, all the rings on his fingers and bells on his toes or whatever.
But on April 2nd and 3rd, we've got SC Comic-Con coming up. That's going to be in Greenville, South Carolina. It's a 2-day event, and Neil Adams is going to be there.
Oh no way.
Yeah, he's like the headliner artist.
Oh wow.
So
That's
that should
cool.
be exciting.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we're trying to, from the sketch group and stuff, trying to get down there. Maybe see if we can set up. Maybe just go. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to stay out there in Greenville and see our very good friend, the Pine Box Daddy, Ellison Brooks.
Oh, I thought he lived in Charlotte.
No, he lives in Greenville.
He lived in Greenville. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We got to get you guys to meet. Yeah.
Well, I met him at like when you guys did the exchange at
Heroes
Con.
That's right, last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
I met him briefly then.
I was telling him about your work. I sent him your link, and he was
cool.
like, "Whoa!" So I was like, "Well, maybe y'all could do a collab."
I had that thought in my head until I asked him how much he charged for one of his things. I was like, "Oh, okay. Talk to you later."
I know. Yeah.
But they're worth it. I mean,
He's a master carpenter.
Yes,
man.
absolutely.
He kills it. He'll give you any Batman symbol you want.
yeah.
You're like, I want, 80s
Yes.
Tim Burton with this. Yeah, cool. And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's really cool work. So yeah, and then after the SC Comic Con,
Yeah, on the 9th, what's coming out?
on the 9th, I will be in Lexington, North Carolina, with all the good barbecue.
Yes.
Not as good as Shelby, but that's another discussion for another show. I'm gonna buy some barbecue, and like right as I go out the door, I'm gonna go suck it.
Yeah.
Shelby's better. But yeah, it's LexingCon in Lexington, North Carolina. I'll have a table there. This will be at the Davidson County Fairgrounds, and the proceeds from the show benefit the Davidson County Humane Society.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll
Not
be
all,
some
not all nerd profit. Good.
maybe there'll be some little puppies around too.
Yeah.
Crypto the Wonder Dog,
Oh, that'd be great.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah, Streaky the cat.
Streaky the cat, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be up there. I believe it starts at 10.
Nice.
I think it's like 10 to 5. So
You just gave me like a cool Legends of Barbecue which would be a good show.
It would be awesome.
A time travel to all the great legends of barbecue.
I could do that.
Ancient Egypt barbecue.
You don't want to know what's in that barbecue.
Yes.
But yeah, that's our upcoming events, and then that's the beginning of April, and then the end of April will be the marathon weekend. April 30th will be HickoryCon. I'll have a table there, and then the next day, Sunday, May 1st,
it's Free Comic Book Day.
Is Free Comic Book Day is the first Saturday in May.
Okay.
So it'll be Saturday, April 30th will be HickoryCon. The next day, Sunday, May 1st, is Charlotte Comic Con.
Oh.
Then the next Saturday will be Free Comic Book Day.
Wowee.
Yeah, that's nuts. But yeah, that weekend, I'll be very busy. I'll be at 2 different cons. So.
And I think also, this one's coming right up. This was this weekend, actually. Sorry. Saturday, February 27th from 2 to 5. Heroes Aren't Hard to Find. Sanford Green signing.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But yeah, they're going to have Sanford in there to sign the new Power Man Iron Fist.
Yeah, number 1.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. He's awesome, Sanford. Yeah. His work is just incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did covers for the Shaft series.
Right.
That I forget who put that out, but
Shaft? Was it Image?
No.
IDW maybe?
Yeah, it was one of the smaller.
Sounds like one of them would do that.
The smaller ones, yeah. But yeah, it was just awesome work. I love his style. So yeah, go out to Heroes Aren't Hard to Find this weekend and get you some Sanford Green.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's a look at where we're coming up, or where we're going to be coming up. Now let's take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, now a big thing this week on the comic rack is going to be DC's Rebirth. That's going to be the main course, but we've got some appetizers here to go through before we get there.
Zombie Tartar.
Exactly. The Walking Dead has announced that Negan's backstory will be told in a 48-page story that will be released in the first 12 issues of the new Image Plus magazine that will start in May. This is going to be like Image Plus will be like almost like a previews kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
And this is like the selling point for it. Will be the first
biggest title. Yeah.
Exactly. Will be the first 12 issues will have each have a bit of this total 48-page story.
Nice. About
where Negan came from, and because they never delved into his backstory at all.
He's probably like a minister or something.
Probably, yeah. It's going to be something.
It's like an ice cream truck
really
driver.
Weird, kind of like the governor.
Yeah, what was
he was just a normal dude.
Yeah, right.
Just something cracked him.
Cracked him.
Yeah. So, so that will be in Image Plus. That will start in May. I assume Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, that'd be a great time to do it.
Yeah. And the creative team behind Lock and Key, Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, will be launching a revival of a horror anthology based on the show Tales from the Dark Side.
Ooh.
They're going to be doing that for IDW this summer. The TV show Tales from the Dark Side was created by Stephen King after the success he had with the movie Creep Show that was kind of an anthology.
There's 2 of those.
Yeah,
those are good.
After it was successful, they wanted him to create a show for TV, so he created that, and that was all based on the old EC Comics
style stuff
from the 50s.
And King was in one of the little vignettes.
Yes,
he played the farmer who had the stuff growing on him.
Yeah,
he blew his brains out.
And Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King.
Oh, well, all right.
Yep. He wanted the reason he didn't use his name is he wanted to be successful without his dad going on his dad's name.
He's not just like a Mike Judge fan. He wanted to be Hank Hill's.
No. You want to be Hank Hill's son.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Hey, son. Go write another horror novel.
And speaking of horror anthologies, remember we talked about, a couple months ago, we talked about the Seduction of the Innocent the series that was coming
Yeah.
out. That was the name of
Oh,
the,
right,
of
right,
the
right.
Wortham book that started the whole
And
controversy.
then they're calling
in
a
the 50s.
new series, right? That's
Yeah.
even a more brutal cover, right?
Yeah,
than the head.
it's not that good.
No, really?
Yeah, I
Oh.
read 2 issues and it was just it's just
Aw.
not that good. Unfortunately, I mean, I
it's a
wanted
shame.
to be. It was
It's too clever of a name, I guess. For
Yeah.
it had to
Yeah,
be really
it
high
just-
quality.
yeah, it just didn't do that well
Ah.
for me. So, but hey,
Oh, all right.
it's still kind of a clever idea. So,
And you knew the reference, so
exactly, yeah.
yay for smartness.
Exactly. Marvel has announced a new upcoming miniseries, Deadpool versus Gambit.
Oh,
It turns
What's this?
out
Yeah.
Wade and Remy have known and worked with each other for a while, and this will dive into their background.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like Deadpool's the hot thing now. Let's mix him with Gambit, whose
bring him
movie's
up.
getting ready to come out. To push that up. Sounds like, but Marvel has released a preview of some of the art from Civil War II, and one of the biggest takeaways is that you can clearly see multiple X-Men and Inhumans in the mix.
Oh,
And that was something that was notoriously absent in the first Civil War. The X-Men weren't involved
yeah. I
in
guess
Civil
so.
War at all.
Yeah.
So that's something that's being remedied now. The X-Men will be included in the whole thing. So it will be really the entire superhuman community
Yeah.
being part of it. So,
Now, I'll tell you, I read that whole run, like that, from Avengers Disassembled, like all the way up to the Initiative, like House of M. I read, like
Yeah.
I blew through it. It was like right when the Marvel app came out on
Yeah.
the iPad. I can't remember a damn thing from that stuff. Since this multiverse,
but that
stuff,
doesn't bode well if you read it and just immediately forget it.
I remember going like, "Whoa, what a great story," and then being like,
what was it?
yeah." Some of them weren't that great,
Yeah.
but I was hooked. I just couldn't give it up.
Yeah. In the astonishing Ant-Man number 5, which came out yesterday, Marvel introduced the all-new, all-different Giant Man.
Oh,
His name is Raz Malhotra,
cool.
who is he's still getting used to the job, and he has obviously Scott Lang to show him the ropes.
Oh Lord,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
So I don't know if that's a good idea.
that's bad. Yeah,
So,
ropes to get over the prison wall.
actually, the picture I saw of him, he had
Yeah, how's he look?
he has a little mustache. So he's got the Giant
Oh.
Man cowl, but then he's got a little mustache. He almost looks like Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite.
Vote for Giant Man.
Vote for Giant Man, exactly.
Oh man, he's always such an awkward character, Giant Man.
Yeah. It always made me wonder, okay, if you have the ability to either grow to gargantuan heights
Right.
or get small, why would you not just kind of always go with you grow and you stomp something? I guess there's times that you would need to shrink down, but
Yeah.
it seems like the Giant Man part of it would be more useful.
Yeah, right. Or
Yeah.
I mean, does it have to be always that like? Can you make like a giant fist or a big giant foot or something? Or
Miss Marvel does that.
yeah, right. Being a
Yeah.
shapeshifter.
Yeah.
It's almost cartoony.
A polymorph, as she calls it.
Polymorph.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I see him. He's got a
sophisticated.
stash.
Yeah, he has that little 70s porn stash going on.
Yeah, he really does. Oh man.
And speaking of the 70s, Jim Steranko will return to Marvel Comics to produce a variant cover for Captain America's 75th anniversary.
Get out of here.
Steranko had a run on Captain America in the late 60s, but more recently he wasn't making any friends at Marvel, and specifically Clark Gregg. He on a blog that he was writing, he kept blasting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because he was the creator of the S.H.I.E.L.D. that we know.
yeah.
And
Who's Clark Gregg, by the way? Sorry.
Phil Coulson.
Oh, okay. The actor.
Yeah, and he was blasting the show in its first season, saying that it's fine. The show is what it is, but it ain't S.H.I.E.L.D. And he just kept hammering and kept hammering.
So he hit him with the fundamentalist Puritan style.
Yeah, and Clark Gregg basically responded like, "Okay, shut up, get your own show."
Yeah.
So it just got to where it was too much. But hey, money cures all ills, so
Oh, S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing well.
they can make some money on Steranko's variant cover, so they'll bring him back in
Yeah,
and have him do that.
He'll be happy about that.
And
That'll be great. I hope he kills it.
His stuff is crazy psychedelic over the top.
When was the last time Steranko did anything?
I don't know. It's been a long time. I haven't heard of him doing much of anything in the business for a while. But his stuff is crazy psychedelic. It's just over the top.
Yeah, I'm going to look up and see sort of what his latest thing is, because I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like what his newest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing or if he's doing anything. So
Bram Stoker's Dracula, I saw. He wrote the episode "The Ties That Bind" on the Justice League Unlimited.
That's been a while though.
2003, he was interviewed by the History Channel for Comic Book Superheroes Unmasked.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, the Spirit of America benefit print came out in 2002.
Yeah, so not a whole lot.
Not really much at all lately.
But hey, he's a legendary name. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
we'll
good.
have another Steranko cover.
Yeah. And Boom Studios is releasing a solo series for the Pink Power Ranger this May.
Yes.
Written by Brendan Fletcher and Kelly Thompson, with art by Danielle Diniculo, or something like that.
All right, you tried.
I tried.
That's exciting.
Not very well.
Pink Ranger she's great.
Yeah, and
especially they're making her more combative now.
Yeah. And she, I don't know if this is the original Pink Power Ranger or whether this, because I know they were rebooting all of the Power Ranger book.
Right.
So I assume this would be the original Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm looking up here to see if I can find, let's see, Power Ranger.
Boom Studios.
Yes.
Is who's putting it out?
That's Danielle DiNiccolo.
Yeah.
Damn, her work is awesome.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, wow, like really awesome. Like she can paint. Like,
is it in a painter style?
Like Alex Ross almost.
Wow.
I mean, are you seeing stuff? I mean,
I see the cover. Yeah, that's
the shiny.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Alex Ross. I mean, but it's shinier.
It's what I'm looking at here. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 00. But that's already on sale. So.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, this is great.
It looks good.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
I hope they do well with it.
Yeah. And I know I think the new series has started already.
It looks like it. I'm seeing a few covers of
they all kind of have the same. It's them holding their helmets,
right?
The different ones,
super shiny.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a variant cover of number 1 with all of them, so you have to collect them all like the Pokemon. But now here's our main course here, the DC Rebirth. We got that a couple weeks ago. They tweeted out there was rumors that there was going to be another reboot in the works.
They put out that blue curtain,
and
right?
that they responded to the rumors by putting out the image with the blue curtain that said Rebirth across it. So that fueled everything with the reboot, and then they decided to tell us, no, wait, it's not a reboot. Don't call it a reboot. So they've left us with many, many questions. So this past week, Jeff Johns, the chief creative officer there, thank you, for DC Comics, put out a video that kind of explained everything and gave us the rundown of what's going to happen.
Yes.
Jeff Johns will write a title called DC Universe Rebirth.
Oh.
And that's going to be the beginning of all this.
Cool. How many issues?
Yeah, it's just going to be 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it starts, he told us that this story starts with the line, I love this world, but there's something missing. So the question there is, who's that narrator? Who's saying that?
Yeah, right.
And who could do something about it? Obviously, it's like, okay, there's something missing, and they can do something about it. So who could that be? I
Who do you think?
don't really have an answer to that. I'm not real sure.
Well, who hasn't really been the
Could possibly
hero in a big bad story, right? Because we've seen where Green Lanterns come through, we've seen where Superman's come through, where Flash has come through.
I mean, it would have to be somebody who has the power to, like I said, to do something about that.
Yeah.
Possibly Telos. I just thought about that.
But they canceled this series.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well,
If they have plans to use him in something else, I mean.
okay.
But yeah, that will be the beginning of all this. The DC universe rebirth. And Jeff Johns says that he hopes to restore a sense of legacy to the DCU.
Ooh.
I like the sounds of that.
So that means older stories, not
Exactly.
no
And
reboots.
it seems like the Convergence opened up the multiverse again. So we have those back, but it didn't really change anything. They still kind of continued on that. We had a couple, like we've got the pre-Flashpoint Superman in Superman, Lois and Clark, and we've got there was another one. What was the other one that? The Titan Hunts. The Titan Hunt.
Yeah.
They're doing that where they have memories that were locked away, and they're starting to pull them out. Wonder Girl, Dick Grayson, and Garth of Atlantis. So Aqualad.
Aqualad. Okay.
Yeah, they don't call him Aqualad. They're calling him Garth of Atlantis.
Okay.
Kind of give him a little more serious
Little promotion.
kind of thing. Yeah, because Aqualad sounds kind of silly.
Yeah, it does.
But in the video, he announces that every book in the line will restart at number 1. So they're going to have new number 1s again, except Action Comics and Detective Comics.
Oh, which are in the...
They will return to their original numbering plus the new 52 run. So that means Action Comics will pick up at 957.
Whoa, so they'll reach
and
1,000.
Detective Comics will pick up at 934.
So we're going to have any comics ever reached 1,000?
No.
So we will have it for the first time.
We will have it, exactly.
Well, good for
and
DC.
That was one of my big things that was like, okay, I understand what you're doing. You're rebooting everything, but why change the numbering for those books? Because
Especially
they're
with
going
legacy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That was what really bugged me about the New 52. It seemed like they just crapped all over the 75-year history of this company. And Action Comics has been running since the beginning. It gave us, and Detective was started a year after
Action.
But Detective Comics 27 with the first appearance of Batman was a year after Action started. So, but I'm not quite sure when Detective Comics itself started. Its first issue, 1937. So it actually started before Action Comics. But at different times, they both went twice a month. So they start running. And actually, I think at one point, Action may have been weekly.
kidding?
They bounce around at different times.
Well, especially since some of them would put out older stories reprinted
Exactly.
with one new anthology story, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. In Action and Detective both for a long time, it was an anthology series. It was mostly Superman for Action and Batman for Detective, but you would have, like Detective, you would have one big Batman story, and then you would have Elongated Man, like a shorter Elongated Man story, and then another secondary one to fill out the book.
Yes.
It was mostly Batman, but now it's nothing but
Batman.
Yeah,
No
it's
anthology.
It's just another Batman title. But those will return to their original numbering, so we will get them crossing 1,000 fairly soon.
Nice.
Well, not fairly soon, but yeah, they're still like Action's at 957, so it'll reach first.
Yeah.
But that fixes things, and I think it can seem like a silly thing to be worried about the numbers of the comic books, but I think that it's a telling thing that you're wanting to take a book that is in the 900s and just go, screw that, we're wiping all that away. It's starting
makes
at 1.
No sense.
Yeah,
right.
that kind of bugged me. Action and Detective will both go to twice monthly, Also, twice monthly will be Aquaman, Batman, The Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lanterns, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, and the Green Lantern Corps. We'll talk about that in a little bit, too.
Okay.
Justice League, Nightwing.
His own.
Not Grayson. Nightwing.
Okay.
Nice. Cyborg, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, Justice League America, and Suicide Squad. Those will all be twice monthly.
Wow.
There will be Rebirth specials for Aquaman, Batman, The Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Superman, Titans, and Wonder Woman. Those will all be in June. Then Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, the Hellblazer, and I believe John Constantine will not be in that.
In the Hellblazer?
And I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but Justice League, Nightwing, and Red Hood and the Outlaws. Those specials will all be in July. Then Batman Beyond, Blue Beetle, Cyborg, Deathstroke, Earth 2, Suicide Squad, Supergirl, Teen Titans, and Trinity will come in the fall. They're not really saying exactly when.
Good.
Those will be. There's just fall. It'll be at some point. In there. The price will return to $2.99.
Oh, thank God. From $3.99 where it is now.
Yes, and some higher. Wow. So, a couple of years ago they did this thing where they hold the line at $2.99, and that lasted for a little bit, and then it'll be interesting to see how long this goes. But if you look at it, it's like, okay, right now most of them are $3.99. They go twice monthly, and now they're $2.99. You're still paying more.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, does that mean that the comics are smaller?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess
I don't think so.
Yeah.
The curtain image was redone
with silhouettes
and added these silhouettes. It was a line of silhouettes.
JLA.
It appears to be a 90s style Superboy with the jacket and everything. You know, the little leather jacket
and the funky sunglasses, right, and the crazy stupid haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classics 40 style Jay Garrick.
Yep.
A hooded figure.
Yeah.
It might be Green Arrow or it might be somebody else. I'm not sure.
Could be Manhunter.
True. But he doesn't usually wear a hood though.
It could be a pop collar.
That's no. It's not pop. No, it actually kind of.
Oh, it's going over his head?
I think it did come over his head.
Okay.
But right next to the hooded figure is another Flash.
Mm-hmm.
That could be Barry,
Bart,
could be
or
Wally.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
Then a female Green Lantern, which I figure will be Power Ring.
Oh, the daughter.
Jessica Cruz.
Oh, the daughter of Alan Scott?
No.
No,
there's a female. The ring,
Jade, right? Jade is the daughter of Alan Scott.
The ring of Power Ring from the Crime Syndicate went onto the lady Jessica Cruz, and she's working with Hal Jordan. She's not technically a Green Lantern, but she has a power ring.
And is it killing her?
Kinda, yeah, I believe so.
Because that's what it killed.
That's what it does.
Killing the other guy too, right?
Exactly.
It's taking his life force.
I think it is working on her, but Hal is helping her not only learn how to use it, but learn how to fight it because it wants you to do evil things.
Yeah.
So she has to fight that. So they may be transitioning her into a real Green Lantern.
And she's got a Lantern Corps logo on her chest.
Yeah. That's now she has the X like
Power Ring did.
Like Power Ring did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they may be transitioning her into a Green Lantern. She is a hero.
Yeah.
Because Hal helps her fight it.
Cool.
The evil ring.
And we've not had a strong female Lantern.
No, not a human. There's been like the peripheral ones in the jail, in the core.
Yeah.
But
not in our sector.
Yeah.
And then what's the last one?
The last one is Supergirl. Looks like the 90s version of Supergirl because she had the big, huge symbol that went all the way to the shoulders.
That the cape came from.
Yes.
Right? So the cape protrudes.
The cape kind of flows out of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And the big question the big questions left. He says he wants to bring back Legacy, but what parts of the Legacy will we get back? That's the thing in his video. They make a point of including pictures of the new Teen Titans, the classic group. It also has a picture of the Legion of Superheroes. It has a picture of the traditional Justice Society of America. And it has an image of both Blue Beetles, Ted Kord and Jaime Reyes.
Whoa.
And
cool.
we know we're going to have a Blue Beetle series. So could we get both of them with Ted Kord almost acting in a mentor kind of a way to Jaime Reyes?
Well, that would be
I think it'd be great.
Right, how they did Ant-Man. I mean,
yeah,
that'd be a good way to do that. Oh, that's really cool.
In the New 52, when they redid everything for the New 52, that was one of the biggest problems that a lot of people had with it. All the Golden Age heroes are completely gone.
Yeah.
The JSA, All-Star Squadron, Young All-Stars, Infinity Incorporated, all just wiped out existence because everything basically started with Superman. And Action Comics is set 5 years before the events of Justice League and Superman.
Oh, with the
that's why
most recent stuff.
Yeah, that's why in Action Comics he wears a T-shirt with the Superman symbol on it, and he's wearing jeans and like Timberland boots. Yeah, it looks silly. But so according to that, like nobody came before this crop of heroes.
Wow.
So you don't have the Golden Age, Justice Society, the guys that fought World War II, like side by side with actual soldiers.
Yeah.
You didn't have that. You didn't have their kids being Infinity Incorporated and all that. Kyle Rayner and Wally West, both characters that took over when the original couldn't continue. Like when Hal lost his mind and killed everybody, the only remaining Green Lantern was Kyle Rayner.
Right.
And he didn't really want this. What was the Ganthet came to Earth and found him and said, "Here, I want you to take this. You have to be the last Green Lantern." And he was a graphic artist. He was just trying to, he's in a crappy apartment trying to get jobs, trying to do his thing. And now all of a sudden he's
man. I don't know if I'd want to be a Green Lantern.
Yeah, especially when there's a crazy guy killing all of them.
Yeah, right.
So, and he became a really great hero through jumping in when he really, really probably shouldn't have, and taking on a mantle that had been damaged. I mean, because Hal Jordan
ruined it.
had gone crazy.
Right. Who else?
And so
Guy Gardner was going to.
Yeah. And said, don't you badmouth Guy Gardner.
Okay. I'll wait till you leave.
So Kyle Rayner was able to go as somebody who's taking over for somebody and building himself up into a great hero. Wally West, same thing. He was the sidekick. He looked up to Barry, and when Barry died, he came out of retirement, even though he knew
it was killing him.
It was killing him. And he made the sacrifice to come out of retirement. And when he found out, Barry was dead, and he was cured of the disease that was killing him, he said, I'm gonna take on his mantle, and I'm gonna pay homage to him by continuing his quest.
Yes.
And so he was the first sidekick to actually take over for their
Robin never had, right?
He hadn't yet. He did eventually, but Wally was the first one to step up and take that mantle.
Right.
As a former sidekick, move into that position.
I was hoping Aqualad would do that. But
he moved into Aqua Teen.
Yeah.
And Wally went on to become not just like a replacement Flash. He became one of the best heroes. I mean, a full member of the Justice League. It wasn't like a replacement guy. He was the Flash.
Yeah.
And he became one of the greatest heroes out there. These characters have been introduced in the New 52, but if you take that history away from them, their character's not as rich. It's not as
I know nobody's going to want to, like, if you know something about them and you have to watch them redevelop, it's kind of annoying, right? It's like
exactly
you're waiting around for them to, introduced Reverse Flash and sort of some of the staples.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what they do on TV. But the TV is different.
It's different. Yeah, I look at TV as an alternate universe. I mean, we joke about the multiverse, that they always have to have anything they do, they have to have another Earth. But that's the way I look at it, is because it's a retelling of the story. It's not going to be exactly like the comics. It's going to be a little bit different.
Yep.
So it's like a different universe. It's the way I look at it. And so you've got all these characters, but they're not quite as rich as they were before. And so I'm hoping we get a lot of these back. In his video, Jeff Johns talked about Rebirth and likened it to the Green Lantern Rebirth that
Which
they
he
did.
wrote. Yeah,
and
right.
he wrote, and
What,
then
the
they
90s
also
or early 2000s.
Yeah, 2000s.
Yeah.
And then the Flash Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about in Green Lantern Rebirth, it took all the elements that had been part of it that had gone away, and like Sinestro, Kilowog, Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner at the time was Warrior.
Right.
He'd gotten all weird and was going off on his own thing. Sinestro had been
Armor.
killed. Kilowog had been killed by Hal Jordan.
Right.
And Hal Jordan had gone crazy and gone away. So they took all those elements that used to be part of that and brought them back together, and they made them part of the story again and gave it a richer backstory, but without sacrificing the future, because they kept Kyle in there, and they kept they've introduced one since then. Simon Baz is a Green Lantern.
Oh, right.
So they were able to still keep the rich backstory and the history, but also then still serve the future, basically.
Cool.
And he also talked about the Flash Rebirth, where they really dug into Barry's backstory and actually fleshed out. That's when, in Flash Rebirth, I think is the first time they went into that his mother was killed.
Oh, really?
And that's what, his father was in prison. So they were able to flesh out Barry's backstory and give him more of it. Of course, he didn't talk about in Flash Rebirth, just basically completely discarding Wally and his legacy as the Flash. But that's a nerd rage for another time. He said that the Flash has always been on the forefront of change in the DC universe. And
of course.
So that kind of makes me assume that the Flash is going to be a part of this as well.
Especially standing in the center of that grouping.
Yeah, and that grouping is interesting. Is that some of the ones that are coming back? Because it feels like it's okay. There's the Superboy that hasn't been around for a long time.
Right.
On the other end, there's Supergirl that version hasn't been around for a long time.
Right.
Then you got Jay Garrick. It's obviously Jay Garrick, not the Jay Garrick from Earth 2 that we have right now,
right,
but the Golden Age
original,
Mercury helmet,
right,
Jay Garrick. Then you have the hooded figure. Then you have another Flash and a female Green Lantern. So that feels like ones that we're getting back. So that makes me think that the Flash that's standing there could be Wally West.
That could be very much true. I think the hooded figure might be the Spectre.
Oh, I hadn't thought about Spectre.
I'm just thinking of who's hooded and whose eyes glow.
There was one that was, I missed this entirely, but I saw somebody online talking about a figure called Pandora that was introduced in the beginning of the New 52. And she was hooded, and then her story just kind of went away, and they never really explained it.
Yeah. Yeah, she kind of looks like Raven. Slightly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think the silhouettes that they gave us on that, I think, are the ones that they're bringing back. So that's where my hope is that they'll have Wally, and Jay, of course, will come back around. And if it's going to be Jay Garrick, are they bringing the entire Justice Society back?
Right. I mean, are we going to get Fate and
and
everybody else? I mean, Dr. Midnight. I mean, who else? Who would they bring?
Yeah.
Thinking of popular characters.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good
choice.
question. So, and what's the difference between Green Lanterns and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps?
Right.
That's a good question right there. And these titles, there's a lot of titles now coming twice monthly. How long is that going to last?
Right.
Are they, I mean, because it was Batman, Aquaman. Let's see here. Where's my list of the twice monthly? Yeah, Aquaman, Batman, The Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lanterns, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, Justice League, Nightwing, Cyborg, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, Justice League America, and Suicide Squad are all going to be twice monthly.
Whew. That's a lot of comics.
That's a lot of comics.
Damn.
And that's coming out, rapid fire. And that's another question is like, what does that do to creative teams? Because one creative team is not producing two monthly issues.
That's right. You're going to have at least alternating teams at the very least.
So we're going to be bouncing back and forth between creative teams. And that's not good.
That could.
Yeah. They've been able to pull it off with the weekly series, the Batman Eternal, and then now Batman and Robin Eternal. They're doing okay. But you have to be careful with that because there's a lot of times when you change creative teams in a book, it's almost like a completely different book.
Yeah, especially if the artwork's drastically different or if the writing is, goes wacky and then normal and then wacky and then normal.
Yeah, the series that Marvel put out after Wolverine's death, it was called Wolverines. It was a group of people that it
was like feral in it?
It was a group of people that could be looked at as would take on his mantle. Mystique was one of them. Sabretooth was in it. Then Dakin, his son.
Okay.
X-23, who is now Wolverine.
Yep.
And there was a couple other that were in there. And it was a good series. And they were trying to figure out where his body's been stolen. They're trying to figure out where it's at and who's got it because that's a valuable commodity.
He's adamantium.
Exactly. Yeah, right. It's adamantium, but there's also his body itself. Is people want to figure out his regeneration mutation.
Why his claws stick out.
Yeah. So it's a valuable commodity. So his body's been stolen. So they're going to find it.
Yes.
And it was going on for like 8 issues, and it was great. Then the creative team changed, especially the art. The art went like
night and day.
Yeah, night and day.
Ugh.
And it becomes a different book at that point. And the way the characters were being characterized and the way they were acting changed entirely. And it was like, okay, this is not the book I've been reading.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm done. That doesn't bode well if they continue for a long time with the twice monthly. I'm not sure how that's going to do well with the creative team.
So you're hoping that same sort of fate doesn't come onto DC.
Yes, I hope
because we've seen bad examples.
But it also has worked before, like I said, with Batman Eternal and Batman and Robin Eternal.
That could be why they're thinking maybe
they could do that. But there's other series as well that are. I thought I had written them down. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. Other titles will include Super Sons, Superwoman, and the Superman, Super Dash Man.
Whoa.
There's no word on what those could be.
Well, Superwoman is from Crime Syndicate.
Maybe. Or they may introduce a new character.
Ooh.
I don't know.
You can't. I mean, they did. Superwoman was in Convergence.
Yeah.
So that'd be awful.
Yeah. I guess it would kind of have to be her. But Super Sons. Somebody online said that, or theorized that may be sons, like future sons of Clark and Bruce, going into the mantle of their fathers.
Cool.
That could be
very interesting.
That could be a good series. It could be good. And the Superman, I'm not sure.
Yeah, wait, what's that about?
It's specifically like there's a dash there. So it's almost like, like originally it wasn't Batman. He was the Batman.
Right.
And that's how he was always referred to. Maybe it's something on that line. I don't know.
Like the Man-Bat, but the Man-Super didn't sound so good.
Man-Super-Bat. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's people competing for the mantle.
Could be.
Could be a few heroes trying to fill that void if something's going on. Maybe.
Could be. I don't know. But yeah, it's. I mean, there's like I said, they answered questions, but then they also left us some.
Yeah.
So I'm interested, and I'm hopefully optimistic at this point because I think we will get some of the legacy back, and that's what a lot of what bugged me about the New 52. So I'm hopefully optimistic with everything. I mean, it's the price drop is interesting because, of course, lowering the price is fine.
Well, they're making money on digital now.
Yeah, and also at the same time, there was a quote from a retailer who said, "If you're selling them at $3.99, why are you backing off? If people are buying them, then you're devaluing your product."
Well, people, I mean, look, it's tough to look at a $3.99 price tag, especially if there's like 3 or 4 titles I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're getting into, $30 already, and
easily.
It's like, I don't want to do that every week just to read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, no.
Yep. It's a decision to make. I mean, I don't know how long, and that was another thing that people were saying. Okay, how long you before you did the hold the line at $2.99, and that lasted maybe a year.
Well, then they justified it by saying that you get the digital version as well. So maybe they'll take away the digital, right? Because you get the print, you get a free copy of the digital.
Yeah, but if you have the print, why do you need the digital? I mean,
to collect and then to read.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, you can say all kind of things. Oh, you get this for this, but if it's something I didn't want, is it really a value to say, oh, hey, here's this?
Right.
If it's something I didn't want in the first place, it doesn't do me any good.
I don't know. I mean, they're clearly getting slaughtered by Marvel.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, they're getting their butts handed to them.
So if they got to do some loss leaders, then maybe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm probably going to buy 60% of those titles just because on the hero alone.
Yeah, just to see, and what they're going to do and how they're coming around with everything. And
absolutely,
I think it's going to be a big deal. I hope it's not just another gimmick.
Right.
I hope they fix some of the. I think they have realized that the New 52 was a bit of a mistake.
I don't know what they were going for with it, but
their idea was, and this is complete spitballing at this point to try and figure out what their thought process was.
Yeah.
I think they were wanting to create a completely new universe so everybody could jump on, like all these people they're watching these movies and they're watching all this, and we want to get everybody excited because this is the beginning of a new universe. The problem was if you get 20% new readers, that's great, that's awesome.
It's going to lose the existing
all
readers.
these people that have been reading for
years,
so long,
decades,
and they know all this history, you've now discarded everything that they know about their favorite character
for a clean slate.
Yeah. And you just look at it, the simple numbers. Okay, 20% are new readers. 80% are longtime readers.
You got to hope their loyalties hang.
Yeah.
Most will. Most people will survive.
And some do, some don't.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean you can easily fall off a series. But I'll tell you what, New 52 came out before the Flash TV series came out, right? Which is arguably probably the most successful TV series of superheroes. Maybe they achieved what they were trying to do on TV, thinking, oh, we'll see if it works in comics. And then they did it with TV. Maybe they don't need to so much anymore because now, like, the viewership of the show is like, hey, we love the new heroes, but let's get some of that legacy stuff in. And that's what they just filled the show with. Yeah. Right, is all these Easter eggs. And when we saw Jay Garrick's helmet,
everybody went nuts.
We lost their mind, right? And then kids are like, there's 2 Flashes?
Yeah.
And then we're like, yes, honey. Here's why, and you can sort of explain.
And you get this explainer, and
or if you don't have that, proverbial Timmy D in your life to say, hey, here's what this is about. You can just jump on
with useless information.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, cool, multiverse, right? You can sort of get into it, and it's good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm happy that you're cautiously hopefully
I'm
optimistic.
hopefully optimistic. I use the sunnier phrase.
The
I'm
sunnier
hopefully
phrase.
optimistic.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it, and I hope they fix some things and go forward and we get to see more like I said, more legacy.
Yeah.
They bring in more of that, and they give the histories back to these characters. And
Well, Convergence gave us the multiverse again.
Yep.
We got, but through time, right? We started to seeing now that we have, newer Earth Society, Earth 2 people, and then the older people are sort of in a memory.
There's an Earth 2 series listed in here.
Yeah,
So
but
is
it's not
that
Earth
the
2
current
Society.
Is this the current Earth 2 that we have right now in the New 52?
Right.
Or is this Earth 2 with the Justice Society?
We don't know. Yeah.
That's
Well, the current Earth 2 is the Earth that was where the Telos planet
Yes.
was. It became Earth 2.
Yeah.
And everything else split.
And quite frankly, since it went to Earth 2 Society, has not been as good.
I rode for 4 issues. I love that the African American Superman. What's his name?
Valzad.
I thought that was a really incredible, like a sort of
I
an
liked
extension
him,
of Henry Irons type of thing. Steel.
I liked his character, but it's just it has not. I don't know if it's the time jump or
It's weird.
or what it is. It just not.
Well, they made everybody young, and then Jay was like a young, futuristic version of himself.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I mean, I think when they first did that, back when it was the original Earth 2 series,
yeah,
I got into it. There was a good storytelling, and that's
Yeah.
I think the problem is when they've changed to the Earth 2 Society, it just hasn't been the storytelling hasn't been up to snuff.
it doesn't have the retro feel,
Yeah.
which I think we want.
Yeah, it just hasn't held up. So and unfortunately, I haven't seen anything in here for Justice League 3001.
Ooh.
So I may be losing my
Yeah, your guilty
future.
pleasure.
Yeah, that's not. For me. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. If it makes me happy, I don't care. I'll read it, and there's and you talk about this kids books. We read those all the time.
Yeah.
If it's good storytelling, I don't.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize to anybody.
No.
I enjoy it. So by God, that's what it is.
We just picked up Scooby-Doo team-ups with Aquaman.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
it's a pretty rad story, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
See? Yep.
What is it? Aqualad makes not Aqualad, but Arthur Jr.
Okay.
He's learning his powers, and he looks at the water and then makes it make a fist that punches the villain in the face.
Awesome. See? That's
Really-
good stuff.
Yeah, oh, it worked out. Yeah.
All right, so there's our dig deep into DC Rebirth, and that winds up our comic rack. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our showcase on the great science fiction novels from the 70s.
Hi, I'm Louis Black, and I'm a big supporter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and its mission to cure CF. People ask me, Louis, what's your personal connection to CF anyway? Well, I don't have one. I'm just passionate about finding a cure. The CF Foundation has made amazing progress. People are living longer, healthier lives today because of innovative new treatments made possible through the foundation. But that's not enough. We need a cure, and we need it yesterday. The progress we have made is a direct result of the dedication and donations of folks like you and me. There's still more that needs to be done. Oh, no. I knew it. He wants our money. Well, yeah. I feel like an idiot for asking, but aren't you just going to throw some of it away each week on something stupid? So why not throw some of it our way? You'll feel better about yourself, and I won't have to come to your home and yell at you. Support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and help make CF stand for Cure Found.
You're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Like you angry. Dr. Banner, we need you angry. That'll do. The Ninja Troll Digicast. The only podcast with a kick.
Welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. We're coming back in, and now apparently I'm being ambushed again with trivia.
So I'm the grumpy old troll
You enjoy this.
who lives under the bridge.
Just try to trip me up.
I'm going to always try to chip you up, Timmy D. I live for this.
It's not my fault. I have too much random information
Brain space
crammed into my dome.
You're the only person who uses more than 10% of their brain.
Of course, this is the only place that stuff is useful. So this is good.
Well,
otherwise, it's just. I tell people stuff. I like throw out little tidbits like this, and they look at me like I'm stupid. So,
all right, come on, Tony Stark, let's do this. Okay, today's theme, Timmy D, is Superman.
Oh,
okay.
Awesome.
So let's warm up. All right, what does the S on Superman's chest translate to in Kryptonian? The word. It is House of L, but what does it mean?
This is a complete guess. It's coming from Man of Steel, but hope.
Sure is. Good job. All right. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. All right. What is Clark Kent's middle name?
Ooh.
It's not. Ooh.
That's a good one, though.
Damn, you suck today.
Hey, I got the first one. Shut up. Is it Jonathan?
Nope.
Oh.
Joseph.
Joseph. Okay.
Yeah. Jonathan, Joseph, and Jesus. Yeah. All right, a little bit about Superman's love life. What Atlantean did Superman date seriously for a while?
Atlantean? Oh, is it Lori Lamaris?
It sure is. Hey, all right.
Come on now.
Okay. During a time travel adventure to Krypton's past in a Superman issue, what famous Kryptonian actress did Superman date while he was there?
Oh, I have no idea. Absolutely none. I can't even venture a guess.
It's Lila Laral.
Oh, the alliteration.
Sure
Lana
is.
Lang, Lois
Lane.
Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Lana, what was it? Laura, what was her name?
You just keep get ready for
Millie
the
the
next
model.
Louis the Lilac.
Louis the Lilac.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, here's another one about his love life. Which of Superman's sweethearts later earned the powers to become the Insect Queen?
Insect Queen?
Yeah, she's a hero.
Was it Lana?
Yeah, Lana Lang. In Superboy 124.
Wow.
An alien visitor gave her a power ring, which gives her insect-like abilities. She became the Insect Queen.
Huh.
All right, cool.
Obviously pre-crisis.
Totally, yes. Totally. These are pre-crisis love life things. All right, who is the natural father of Daily Planet editor Perry White's son, Jerry?
Well, if he was Perry White's son, then it would be Perry, wouldn't it?
Well, natural father.
Natural father.
Listen
So
to all the words in the sentence.
I was trying to lawyer my way out of that one.
Mm-hmm. Objection.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Good job.
Deductive reasoning can do a lot for you.
Oh, God.
What would be the absolute worst thing for Perry White? It would be
Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
right. All right, cool. We're going to start a new weekly series for Timmy called Deductive Comics.
That's right. So what, I got like all but one of those? Or did I miss two?
I'm not sure. I'm getting mad, so I'm not really keeping track. All right, here you go. This exists. What is Superman's social security number?
Shut up.
Seriously exists.
1. I don't know. Why? He got the first one. He's the first superhero, so he got the first social security card. I don't know.
FDR was like, "You're a great American."
Yeah. Here's your social security card.
Okay, in Action Comics number 340.
They actually showed his social security card.
092096616. And I apologize to the person who has that card.
That's what I was about to say. That kind of sucks if somebody has that number.
Yeah, some Ukrainian hacker was just like, I knew it existed.
Clark Kent.
Here we go. Gold kryptonite, as we talked about earlier, strips Kryptonians of their superpowers. What is the radius of the effect? And this was revealed in World's Finest Comics number 159.
Say 10 feet?
2 feet.
2 feet. Oh.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's a lot closer.
Yeah, it is. It's gold.
I'll put it in your pocket.
That's right.
Gold in my pocket.
All right, speaking of gold in your pocket, what was the maiden name of Kal-El's mother, Lara, on Krypton?
Oh, I do know this one. This is going to hurt if I can't think of it.
And this was from Superman 233.
They've actually talked about it on Supergirl. Oh, dang it.
Are you close, or just say what you think?
It's there somewhere, but I can't remember it.
Yeah? You don't want to try? Do your deductive comics reasoning.
There's no deductive reasoning on this one. I just can't remember the name.
No. So lack of traction comics?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't come up with it. This is going to hurt me when you say it, isn't it?
It's Lara Lorvan.
Lorvan, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they have said that on
Supergirl?
On Supergirl.
On the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. All right, this is a good one. Who was the first criminal ever banished to the Phantom Zone?
The first criminal, was it Zod?
No.
I don't know.
It was Jax Ur. Jax-Ur, U-R. Who is in DC Comics Presents 97.
Oh.
Old, yeah. And whose forbidden experiments with nuclear rockets destroyed one of Krypton's moons. So he was the first criminal sent to
My bad.
The Phantom Zone. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, last one.
Okay.
All right, the Bizarros, the imperfect duplicates of Superman and his friends, had their own cube-shaped world and their own peculiar chant. Can you recite the Bizarro code?
The chant? Oh. No. I do not know.
No.
So it's one of those things I should probably know. Because it's probably hilarious.
You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. Us do opposite of all earthly things. Us hate beauty. Us love ugliness. Is big crime to make anything perfect on Bizarro World.
Is big crime. That's what I want on the Bizarro episode of Supergirl. That's what I wanted her to go. Me and Bizarro.
That would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
Totally. With like a big brooding kind of voice.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so not bad, Timmy. You may cross my bridge.
Yes.
The next time I will take your basket of treats, and you will not do the do.
And I always do the do.
Yeah. All right, man. Take us into the 70s.
All right, cool.
Science
It's time
fiction style.
to visit the greatest science fiction novels of the 70s.
Bow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents The Showcase.
All right, this is the showcase segment of the show, where we take a closer look at different subjects. We started a couple weeks ago with the greatest science fiction novels of the 50s. Then we went to the 60s. Now we're on the 70s. And like I said, one thing that I found out when looking into the greatest novels of the 70s, there's a lot of them that I haven't read. There's some of them that are some of my favorites, but there's a lot that I know the name, but I haven't read the actual novel. So it's something I need to dig into. So.
And if you could sort of, like, Timmy, you were sort of saying the 50s was the golden age.
I feel like, yeah.
Right? The 60s was kind of what? What would you sort of call that decade? Or
I don't know if the reason I call the 50s the golden age is it was kind of the beginning of science fiction really catching on, because you had all the magazines.
Genre.
Yeah, the magazines that would publish short stories, and they started in like the 40s, but they really caught on in the 50s, and science fiction became a part of pop culture in the 50s.
Gotcha.
And that's why I look at it like the 50s, and I say the 50s are the golden age.
So what would you call the 60s and then really the 70s, right? If you could define the era.
Yeah, they kind of, the 60s, much like, culture in general, it had very much a different feel, a little more, not really wacky, but it fit in with the kind of the psychedelic 60s.
Okay.
Because you had like something like Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
Stranger in a Strange Land. They all had a kind of where they almost a foot in philosophy as well.
Interesting.
At the same time.
So very hippie.
And you had Dune, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, all in the 60s, and they had a different feel to it. You weren't always like the 50s novels. Not all of them. There was definitely several that were dystopian, but you had I feel like there was a lot more hope in the they described a future that was a little sunnier. In the 60s, you started to get more of the dystopian future coming in. There was like I said, there was a good handful in the 50s that had that outlook as well, but it seemed like it was more in the 60s. In the 50s, you had robots working hand in hand with humans and stuff like that,
not trying to take over.
And so I mean, you definitely had the issues, but like the 60s, you had Planet of the Apes, you had Stand on Zanzibar, that was, and Do Android Dream of Electric Sheep. Wasn't dystopian, but it had a definite outlook, kind of a gloomy outlook on the future. And Stand on Zanzibar, definitely, because it was all about overcrowding. So
with the 70s, I mean, we went to space, right? Obviously, so it was big. The 70s was more of a darker decade, right? At least for America.
Yeah, it was, and it's you can kind of get a feel for the novels are kind of all over the place. You had the first one on the list here is actually, this one I have read, and it's one of my favorites. It's Ringworld by Larry Niven. It's kind of like the game Halo. That's the whole thing. Halo. That's what
that makes sense.
This
is the Halo, the big ring.
Yeah, the big ring, and this the structure is it's the distance away from the sun that the Earth is, but it's a big strip around the sun.
Yeah,
and the world is laid out on the inside of this ring.
Nice.
And there's giant panels above the like in stationary orbit around the ring, and that's what causes night. Those panels come in and block out the sun, and that's what gives them night. And the description of this is Pearson's puppeteers, strange three-legged, two-headed aliens, have discovered an immense structure in a hitherto unexplored part of the universe. Frightened of meeting the builders of such a structure, the puppeteers set about assembling a team consisting of 2 humans, a puppeteer, and a Zen, an alien not unlike an 8-foot-tall red-furred cat, to explore it. The artifact is a vast circular ribbon of matter, some 180 million miles across, with a sun at its center. It's called the Ringworld. But the expedition goes disastrously wrong when the ship crash lands and its motley crew faces a trek across the thousands of miles of the Ringworld's surface. And it's always the concept, and not just the concept, but like in the novel, when they reach the edge, that there's this gigantic wall, and the image always blew my mind of imagining that you're walking along and you come across a wall, not like Great Wall of China. That's tiny compared to this.
Wow.
Because it has to beyond it. Yeah, it has to keep you in, because there's nothing but wide open spaces on the other side.
Right.
So, and there's no, I mean, what's keeping you on this world is centrifugal force. It's not gravity. It's centrifugal force.
From the ring?
From the ring, yeah.
Like how they show gravity, artificial
spinning.
gravity. And
yes, exactly. It's spinning, so the centrifugal force simulates gravity. So, yeah, it's an incredible concept, and Larry Niven is just incredible. So, yeah, if you've never read Ringworld, you definitely pick it up and check it out. It's a trip. It's definitely a trip. Yeah.
And was this come out 1970 or
I think it was
71?
71, 72, something like that.
This is like the kickoff novel for the decade.
Yeah.
Nice.
The next one on the list is Time and Again by Jack Finney. Sleep, and when you awake, everything you know of the 20th century will be gone from your mind. Tonight is January 21st, 1882. There are no such thing as automobiles, no planes, computers, television. Nuclear appears in no dictionary. You have never heard the name Richard Nixon. Did illustrator Cy Morley really step out of the 20th century apartment one night, right into the winter of 1882? The U.S. government believed it, especially when Cy returned with a portfolio of brand new sketches and tintype photos of a world that no longer existed. Or did it?
Whoa.
So he travels back to 1882, and then he comes back.
As an artist.
And he is an artist, yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. This one I have not read, but what I did dig into a little bit is, he is an artist just basically trying to make his way, and gets transported back to 1882 and then brought back.
Cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. So.
I love how he still worked. He's like, oh, I got 10 type photos.
Yeah, gotta do what I gotta do. The Lathe of Heaven, Ursula Le Guin. In a future world racked by violence and environmental catastrophes, George Orr wakes up one day to discover that his dreams have the ability to alter reality. He seeks help from Dr. William Haber, a psychiatrist who immediately grasps the power that George wields. Soon George must preserve reality itself as Dr. Haber becomes adept at manipulating George's dreams for his own purposes. So there's always somebody that's going to change it to their purposes. So, and this is another one that I've never read. I've never read any of her novels. She has a bunch that end up on these greatest science fiction novels. Yeah.
What's her name again?
Ursula K. Le Guin. She's got another one a little farther.
Yeah.
The Dispossessed is also on the list. Shevek, a brilliant psychic, decides to take action. He will seek answers, question the questionable, and attempt to tear down the walls of hatred that have isolated his planet of anarchists from the rest of the civilized universe. To do this dangerous task will mean giving up his family and possibly his life. Shevek must make the unprecedented journey to the utopian mother planet Eurus to challenge the complex structure of life and living and ignite the fires of change. That's The Dispossessed, also by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Cool.
Again, like I said, I've never read any of her stuff, but it ends up on the greatest science fiction list a lot.
It looks like she's done Earthsea. That I've heard of.
I remember that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I've heard of.
I remember that name. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. She's got quite a career.
Yes, very prolific.
Yeah.
So. The next on the list is The Gods Themselves, Isaac Asimov. Only a few know the terrifying truth. An outcast Earth scientist, a rebellious alien inhabitant of a dying planet, a lunar-born human intuist who senses the imminent annihilation of the sun. They know the truth, but who will listen? They have foreseen the cost of abundant energy, but who will believe? These beings, human and alien, hold the key to the Earth's survival. Asimov has identified this as his favorite science fiction novel.
Nice.
And that's saying something in the list of his that he's written.
Yeah.
He says this is his favorite.
Yeah, right. I've not heard of this from.
And it's
Asimov.
also his only alien novel.
Oh.
And that's something he always said that everybody always talked to him. He's like, okay, you write science fiction novels, but you never have any aliens. It's always
AI,
humans,
right?
Humans that have settled in other parts of the
galaxy.
The galaxy. And his answer was always, listen, I know human emotion. I don't necessarily know aliens.
Yeah.
So these aliens were, it's been a long, long time since I read this, like over 20 years. But if I remember, these aliens were almost rock creatures. And they were separated with, they were hard ones and soft ones. Or maybe they called the humans soft ones. I don't exactly remember. It's like I said, it's been a long time since I read this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover. I'm not getting a sense. They're showing like a guy looking at like a some sort of bottle, like a chemical type thing on the cover.
Yeah, but I do remember that this is pretty much the only one he ever did with aliens in it. And
Okay.
it was originally published in 3 different parts in Galaxy magazine. It was, the first part is called Against Stupidity. Second part is The Gods Themselves. And the third part is Contend in Vain? ? So yeah, they're it looks like the aliens are from a parallel universe rather than another planet. Their inhabitants are divided into dominant hard ones and subject soft ones. The latter have 3 sexes with fixed roles for each sex. Rationals are the logical and scientific sex identified with masculine pronouns and producing a form of sperm. They have a limited ability to pass through other bodies. Yikes.
Yeah.
Emotionals or mids are the intuitive sex, identified with feminine pronouns and provide the energy needed for reproduction. Emotionals can pass freely in and out of solid material, including rock. And parentals or rights bear and raise the offspring and are identified with masculine pronouns. Parentals have almost no ability to blend their bodies with others, except when helped by one or both of the sexes. Let's see. Well, I was about to say this is hard science fiction, and that's what Asimov did. It was
trying to do that super explaining stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where you get into hard science fiction that is based on real scientific fact or an established like that. It's a structure like that has a scientific structure to it.
Yes.
And that's what Asimov does the best. So, and speaking of another hard scientific author, Rendezvous with Rama, Arthur C. Clarke. At first, only a few things are known about the celestial object that astronomers dub Rama. It is huge, weighing more than 10 trillion tons, and it is hurtling through the solar system at inconceivable speed. Then a space probe confirms the unthinkable. Rama is no natural object. It is incredibly an interstellar spacecraft. Space explorers and planet-bound scientists alike prepare for mankind's first encounter with alien intelligence. It will rekindle their wildest dreams and fan their darkest fears. No one knows who the Ramans are or why they have come, and now the moment of rendezvous awaits. Just behind a ramen noodle?
Yeah.
A ramen airlock door. It's hard for me to not hear ramen noodle right behind there.
Rama. Wow, apparently this was a video game back in the day, a text-based video game on PC. And I think there's also a graphic novel version, because I'm seeing the concept art, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Now I remember. It was a text-based game, but then in the 90s, Sierra Online put out a CD-ROM version of it.
Okay.
And it was funky. I mean, it was like inventory-based and stuff, but you had like a little screen, and you'd sort of traverse the Rama spacecraft.
Okay.
Which is quite interesting. Oh, Timmy D.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you're going to love this, man. Holy crap. Look at this infographic. The history of science fiction.
Oh, man, I got to have that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you got to send that
Sorry
to
to
me.
derail you.
You got to send that to me. I could dive into that for years.
I mean, this is a big... You could probably print this out 11 by 17.
Yeah.
And go to town.
That's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
Dude, this goes way back.
Awesome.
Way back.
It
starts with fear and wonder.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it goes. Gilgamesh is considered one of the first.
Oh, okay.
All right. I won't.
Yeah,
I won't
yeah,
derail what you're doing there, because this is pretty awesome.
We could dive into that. Okay, the next one on the list is The Mote in God's Eye by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. In the year 3016, the second empire of man spans hundreds of star systems. Thanks to the faster-than-light Alderson drive, no other intelligent beings have ever been encountered, not until a light sail probe enters a human system carrying a dead alien. The probe is traced to the Mote, an isolated star in a thick dust cloud, and an expedition is dispatched. In the Mote, the humans find an ancient civilization, at least 1 million years old, that has always been bottled up in their cloistered solar system for lack of a star drive. The Motes are welcoming and kind, yet rather evasive about certain aspects of their society. It seems the Motes have a dark problem, one they've been unable to solve in over 1 million years. This is one I have, but I haven't read. The cover is crazy creepy. It's
Say the title again.
The Mote in God's Eye.
Mote in God's Eye.
Yeah, I have the. I just looked it up. That's not the one. The one I have is it has a freaky looking eye on the cover, and it's.
Was this a Star Trek episode as well?
I don't think so.
First time in paperback. The Mote in God's Eye. Star Trek.
No, I don't, it wasn't.
No. Larry Niven, Jerry Pournelle.
Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing this. I don't know why it's got Star Trek on it.
I don't. Yeah, it looks like somebody made it because
Probably.
doesn't quite graphically match up.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, that's somebody. Yeah, it's on DeviantArt. So.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, the cover I have, it has. I mean, most covers have the eye that they're talking about is the dust cloud, and the planet in it. It looks like the
iris
of the eye.
Yes.
And most covers have like a actual like artist rendering of what that would look like. But the cover I have at home, it looks like a almost like a reptilian eyeball, and it's really, really creepy looking.
Is it looking to the side?
Yes.
Okay. Is it this one?
Probably. Yes, that's it.
Okay. All right.
And it's really creepy looking.
With the Herb Lubalin slanted type.
Yes.
On the M. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, like I said, it's actually part of it's part of a series. The Motes series.
The Motes.
There's in that is Future History by Jerry Pournelle, The Mote in God's Eye by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle, The Gripping Hand. I remember that came out not long ago because it's the two of them working together again for like the first time in a long time.
The Gripping Hand, and then I see Beowulf's Children, and then The Burning City.
Okay. The Gripping Hand came out in '86. Maybe it was. What was the one you just said?
Beowulf's Children.
I think that may be the one that they just put out again. Because it was a big deal because they were working together again for the first time in a long time.
Wow.
So, but maybe I'll have to get past my creepiness of the cover and actually read this. So. Because I've got it, it's just I haven't read it. The next one on the list is The Forever War, Joe Haldeman. And this one I love. I like military science fiction, and that's what this one is. It's with a twist. Private William Mandela is a hero in spite of himself, a reluctant conscript drafted into an elite military unit and propelled through space and time to fight in a distant 1,000-year conflict. He never wanted to go to war, but the leaders on Earth have drawn a line in the interstellar sand, despite the fact that their fierce alien enemy is unknowable, unconquerable, and very far away. So Mandela will perform his duties without rancor and even rise up through the military ranks, if he survives. But the true test of his mettle will come when he returns to Earth. Because of the time dilation caused by space travel, the loyal soldier is aging months while his home planet is aging centuries.
Oh, wow.
And the difference will prove the saying, "You never can go home." And it's funny that most military science fiction is anti-war, like very thinly veiled anti-war.
Yeah.
And they are in this war. They become increasingly disconnected with what they're fighting for. Because anytime they come back to Earth, it's like they've been gone a month. It's been 200 years. Everybody they knew, dead.
Whoa. So why fight?
Yeah, and when they come back, the society is completely different.
Yeah.
Like, this is not my society. This is not where I left. So why fight?
Right.
And even Mandela actually develops a relationship with somebody he's in a female that he's in with in the platoon with, and she gets transferred. It's okay, now she's on a different rotation, so I'll never see her again. And like then I think he does see her again, but she's
really old.
She's really, really old.
Oh
yeah. But yeah, it's even soldiers that are on different rotations still they can't. It's the most isolating thing ever. Because everybody you ever knew at home is dead by the time you get back. If you're on a different deployment than somebody else, then you're never going to see him again. And it's an ongoing war, thousands of years long, to the point to where they're not quite sure why they even started the war in the first place.
Oh, wow.
And they don't really know what they're fighting for, because it's, like I said, this is not my planet. It's not where I left from. So
it looks like in the 90s, early 90, 91, 92, that they came out with
he did a sequel, yeah.
With the graphic novels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, and 3, Forever War.
Okay.
And the artwork looks really good.
I think, yeah.
It's got a bit of an anime look to it.
I think he did the Forever Peace. Came out later. I don't remember exactly when.
Yeah, Forever War 1. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's hard to get a hold of. December 90. Yeah, the paperback, if you want to get a copy of it, is $65 on Amazon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, yeah. Forever Peace was a sequel. It came out in 1997.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
And won the Nebula Award, Hugo Award, and the John W. Campbell Memorial Award.
Nice. And then it looks like he came out with Forever Free.
Yeah.
In 2000.
Yeah. And the Forever War won the Nebula in 75 and the Hugo and Locus Award in 1976. So
groovy.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Nice.
It's right there. It's very similar to Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, yeah,
space military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and both of them are anti-war.
Nice. The Heinlein?
Yes.
John?
Robert A. Heinlein.
Nice.
The next one is Gateway by Frederick Pohl. Gateway opened on all the wealth of the universe and on reaches of unimaginable horror. When prospector Bob Broadhead went out to Gateway on the He-Chi spacecraft, he decided he would know which was the right mission to make him his fortune. 3 missions later, now famous and permanently rich, Robinette Broadhead has to face what happened to him and what he is, in a journey into himself as perilous and even more horrifying than the nightmare trip through the interstellar void that he drove himself to take. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's
cool.
another one that I haven't read, unfortunately.
I love all these these setups are great.
Yeah. The next one is A Scanner Darkly, Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
Who was a fixture. Philip K. Dick was a big fixture in the 60s list, so he's got one here too. And this one was recently turned into a movie.
Yeah, but it was all animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the whole thing drawn with what's his name? Keanu Reeves.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Bob Arctor is a dealer of the lethally addictive drug Substance D. Fred is the police agent assigned to tail and eventually bust him. To do so, Fred takes on the identity of a drug dealer named Bob Arctor. And since Substance D, which Arctor takes in massive doses, gradually splits the user's brain into 2 distinct combative entities, Fred doesn't realize he is narking on himself. Caustically funny, eerily accurate in its depiction of junkies, scam artists, and the walking brain dead, Philip K. Dick's industrial-grade stress test of identity is as unnerving as it is enthralling. I love that description.
Yeah.
He basically doesn't realize he's narking on himself.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
That is awesome.
You don't want to narc yourself.
That is awesome. Now, the next one in the list is one of my favorites. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams.
I've never heard of that one.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Join Douglas Adams' hapless hero Arthur Dent as he travels the galaxy with his intrepid pal Ford Prefect, getting into horrible messes and generally wreaking hilarious havoc. Dent is grabbed from Earth moments before a cosmic construction team obliterates the planet to build a freeway. You'll never read funnier science fiction. Adams is a master of intelligent satire, barbed wit, and comedic dialogue. The Hitchhiker's Guide is rich in comedic detail and thought-provoking situations and stands up to multiple reads. Required reading for science fiction fans, this book and its follow-ups is also sure to please fans of Monty Python, Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, and British sitcoms. I absolutely agree with all of that.
Yeah.
That's, as far as I'm concerned, it should be required reading.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, my cousin turned me onto it when we were kids, and I was like, "What?"
Oh,
and he's like, "No, you got to try this."
Hilarious.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious. And I think it's funny that it was the Hitchhiker's Guide trilogy, and he kept putting out books, and like the 5th one was called Mostly Harmless, and the tagline at the top, the 5th book in the increasingly badly named Hitchhiker's Trilogy.
Nice.
Yeah, Douglas Adams is awesome. If you've never read this book, get it and read it. It's incredible. I watched a little bit of the movie they put out not long ago.
That was good. Yeah, with Mos Def.
Yeah,
the rapper Mos Def was played. I forget who he played. He was a weird dude. But what about the BBC series? Wasn't it a show?
Yeah,
was it a movie?
I don't know if it was a series or not.
I'm looking at images and like there's one guy who looks like David Bowie. He's got like himself on his.
That's Zaphod. He had the other head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the BBC series. Yeah, okay. It is a series.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a radio series?
Yeah, they did a radio
adapted
series.
From the radio series.
Oh, adapted. Okay.
Yeah, so they made a TV show from the radio series.
Yeah, I knew they did do a radio series. Yeah, but Zaphod Beetlebrox was the guy with the other head.
And the reason I was thinking because I remembered the diagram of the babblefish.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the babblefish goes in the ear. That's what I thought of on Legends when they were taking the pills. Yeah, it's like a babblefish that you swallow.
Can understand. Yeah,
It works inside you instead of inside your ear.
Right.
So, and always a recurring thing in science fiction and TV shows, especially the X-Files, the number 42. You see that constantly, and that all comes from Hitchhiker's Guide because the computer that was asked, what's the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
It's 42.
And it took like thousands of years to come up with the answer, but the answer was 42. And I was like, wait a minute, what?
Awesome.
So yeah, that's you should definitely go out and get a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh man,
I actually have a leather bound. I found a leather bound edition with.
Damn.
It's got everything except Mostly Harmless, because that hadn't come out yet, and it's got a short story about what was it? It was about Zaphod. It was like young Zaphod plays it safe or something like that. I forget now, but it's a little short story that he wrote.
Nice.
The next one on the list is Tau Zero, by Paul Anderson. 15 men and women set out in the 23rd century from Earth aboard an interstellar craft to travel to a planet some 30 light years away. The ship will approach the speed of light, and so, as Einstein predicted, subjective time on board will slow, and so the journey of several decades will be of much shorter duration for the crew. But the ship's deceleration system is irreparably damaged when it hits a cloud of interstellar dust, and acceleration continues toward light speed, or Tau Zero. Soon the ship is speeding through galaxies, and eons are passing on board the ship in the blink of an eye. Again, This is one that I've never read, but now reading this blurb, I want to. It sounds really interesting. Because they're basically the pedals mashed to the floor. It keeps going faster and faster.
Yeah.
So where are they going to end up?
Wow, that's amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
I have to read that one. Okay, the next one is another Philip K. Dick. This is Flow My Tears, the Policeman Said.
Flow My Tears.
I love the titles of his novels. They're awesome. On October 11th, which is my birthday, the television star Jason Taverner is so famous that 30 million viewers eagerly watch his primetime show. On October 12th, Jason Taverner is not a has-been, but a never was. Ooh. A man who has lost not only his audience, but all proof of his existence. And in the claustrophobic betrayal state of Flow My Tears, the policeman said, loss of proof is synonymous with loss of life. Taverner races to solve the riddle of his disappearance and immerses us in a horribly, horribly plausible Philip K. Dick United States in which everyone, from a waif-like forger of identity cards to a surgically altered pleasure, informs on everyone else in a world in which omniscient police have something to hide. This bleakly beautiful novel bores into the deepest bedrock self and plants a stick of dynamite at its center. Yeah, Philip K. Dick is his stuff is
It's very socially
Yes.
engaged, huh?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, he skewers everything.
Wow. Yeah.
The next one is actually, it could be included, almost be included in the cyberpunk thing next week. It's called The Shockwave Rider by John Brunner.
Shockwave Rider.
He was the most dangerous fugitive alive, but he didn't exist. Nicky Halflinger had lived a score of lifetimes, but technically he didn't exist. He was a fugitive from Tarnover, the high-powered government think tank that had educated him. First he had broken his identity code, then he escaped. Now he had to find a way to restore sanity and personal freedom to the computerized masses and to save a world tottering on the brink of disaster. He didn't care how he did it, but the government did. That's when his Tarnover teachers got him back in their labs, and Nicky Halflinger was set up for a whole new education. So it's all about mind wipes and injected information, and so yeah, it definitely could slide into that cyberpunk. It was one of the early cyberpunk stuff. They had that same feel as the Philip K. Dick one that was turned into Total Recall. We'll remember it for you wholesale was the name of the short story that was turned into
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, same kind of stuff. That was his as well. And then the last one on the list, The Fated Son by C.J. Sherrill. This is the story of three people: Sten Duncan, a soldier of humanity; Neon, last warrior of the Mirai, humanity's enemies; and Malene, a priestess queen of the final fallen Mirai stronghold. It is the story of two mighty species fighting for a galaxy, humanity driving out from Earth, and the enigmatic Regal struggling to hold their stars with Mirai mercenaries. It's a story of diplomacy and warfare, of conspiracy and betrayal, and of three flesh and blood people who found themselves thrown together in a life and death alliance.
Nice.
So that one is more of the effects on the three individuals of these larger ranging things that are happening. The more galaxy-wide, worldwide and galaxy-wide things that are happening and how it affects them and what they're forced into doing.
Cool.
So, but that is a look at the greatest science fiction novels of the 70s.
Amazing.
Yes. It's a good list.
Yeah.
Very good list. A lot of
70s was interesting. So, what do you think now? Like, sort of looking, with what you just all read. I mean, like, there was a lot of mind bending type stuff.
Yes. Does seem to be, yeah. And that leading out of the 60s, like I said, it was kind of the psychedelic stuff started in the 60s. Seems like it's kind of stretched over into the 70s, and you get a little bit of the beginning of the cyberpunk, which is all dystopian and a very bleak future, which almost took it a little too far in the cyberpunk movement. And
then some anti-war stuff, right? To
yes.
mimic the Vietnam sentiment.
Yeah, because this is still the 70s. We're still in Vietnam, so you get a lot of that, like Forever War, and other books like that kind of had that message embedded in them from basically coming straight from the headlines at that point. So, you had a nice little cross-section here, kind of stretching from the 60s, the psychedelic of the 60s, into like leading up into the 80s, where you get. I always thought it was funny that the 80s was essentially a good time. I mean, you had the economy was doing better, the Cold War was starting to wind down, but in science fiction everything was bleak and everything was dystopian.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of funny. Looking at the events that are going on in the world at the time, and then the literature that's coming out at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a look at our greatest science fiction novels from the 70s. When we do Showcase again, we will. I don't know which I'm going to do first. Whether I'm going to do the 80s, sans the cyberpunk, or whether I'm going to hit cyberpunk first.
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, Cyberpunk, where does it square up in time?
It started around 80. I think 84 was when the Neuromancer
Gibson
Neuromancers came out.
Okay.
And then it went from there on to the end of and kind of stretched a little bit into the 90s. Yeah, Neuromancer came out in 84.
Nice.
So I think I'll probably do the 80s first and hit the top top titles and include a one or two Cyberpunk that really kind of transcended that genre.
Okay.
And then, of course, Neuromancer would have to. Any book of the greatest science fiction novels of the 80s has to have Neuromancer on it. If it doesn't, then there's something wrong.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll probably do the 80s first, and then after that, I'll do Cyberpunk, because
Cool.
that's something that's close to my heart, because I love these. I love this field.
I mean, besides Neuromancer, what's another big Cyberpunk?
Islands in the Net was one by probably the biggest one by Bruce Sterling.
Okay.
Then Hardwired was it John William? It was Walter John Williams. That was it.
Okay.
Was another big novel. Let me see. Bring that one up. There's so many. There's George Effinger had a series of novels that was set in the Muslim world, but it was essentially like the cyberpunk.
Cool.
Set in the Muslim world. It's I forget the name of the his novels. George Effinger, what they called
When Gravity Falls?
When Gravity Fails.
Fails, yep.
Yeah, was the first one. The Married Aldrin series. When Gravity Fails, A Fire in the Sun, and The Exile Kiss. And then they did a short story collection called Booty Inn Nights. Because it's all set in it's a Middle Eastern setting, and the Booty Inn was kind of the hood. That's where they did their deals. But at one point in one of the books, I don't think it was When Gravity Fails. I think it was the second book. They got exiled and left out in the middle of the desert, so they had to get back to the city. So you can imagine somebody who's completely tied with technology
to be just
dumped out.
In the 19th century.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that there's a huge number of cyberpunk novels that you can come through, and it all comes. It came from, or it was at least kicked off by Neuromancer, but then there was two other novels in that trilogy called the Sprawl trilogy, Count Zero and what's the other one? Hang on. Give me a second. I'll remember the other one. It was Count Zero, and then Mona Lisa Overdrive was the last one. That was in '88.
This one. What's Snow Crash?
Snow Crash is by Neil Stephenson.
Yeah.
And he actually has one called Cryptonomicon.
Like the book?
Yeah.
Necronomicon.
It starts with the cryptologist in World War II that had to break the Enigma code.
Yeah.
And Snow Crash, if I remember correctly, Snow Crash, the hero of that book, if I remember correctly, is named Hero Protagonist.
You serious?
I think it is. Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Oh my god.
The main character is called Hero Protagonist.
So when you run out of titles.
Yeah, but it's Hiro. It's Japanese.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's very tongue in cheek. So
Okay, all right. I can handle that.
yeah. That one is it's pretty funny. It's good. And if I remember, he's living in a like a storage unit. He rents a storage unit and he lives in it.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Try to stop you from doing that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll jump into that after we'll do the 80s, and then we'll
do Cyberpunk.
We'll jump into Cyberpunk, and I'll have fun with that.
That's awesome.
So that is going to do it for our greatest science fiction novels of the 70s. And before we get out of here, we want to take a look at our picks for this week. My pick it's a oldie but a goodie. It's coming around again. The Badger.
The Badger?
The Badger is like one of those indie comics that became legendary. It was like a cult classic. They're putting it out again. I believe it's
Mike Barron?
Yes, Mike Barron. I think it's...
What even is this, Tim?
It's different.
It's certainly indie, yeah.
Oh, it's definitely indie. The main character is Norbert Sykes. He essentially is nuts.
I see him like chasing hunters.
Yes. He has, I think they've documented 5 different personalities. One is a little girl. Like, I think she's 7 years old because that's essentially where his mind cracked. And he started creating these other personalities.
Wow.
One is it's a little girl. There's one that is an intercity ethnic youth called Gastineau. I forget now what his name is, but it's another one. Then there's Pierre, who's another personality, and the most dominant personality is the Badger,
who's a hero.
Who is a hero, exactly. He knows various martial arts.
Wow.
He's very proficient with various martial arts. He has a connection with nature and animals, so he protects them. And so if you've read the old one, the old series, and you know all these little details, even if you don't, they start to explain them in part. Issue 1 that just came out is from First Comics, is Badger #1, and Mike Barron is writing it again now, of course, and Jim Fern is doing the art.
Wow.
And it looks really, really good.
Cool.
And it's as they're going through, it's kind of fun to see the reference to like he's in with the psychiatrist, and she starts to document the different personalities, and you're like, oh yeah, there's Pierre. It's fun to see that again.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it was one of those comics that it was like cult status.
Yeah.
A couple issues came out, I think on Capital Comics or something like that, and then the company went belly up, and he went to somewhere else, to First Comics, and they put it out for a while.
Yeah.
And
Dark Horse had it for a while too.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those that kind of jumped from place to place for a while.
Oh man! Wow, very cool.
But they're putting out again, and it looks really, really good. I was really happy to see it and see it done well again. So and yeah, it's Buck Wild. He's nuts. He's absolutely nuts. Certifiably.
Yeah, I'm seeing some pictures of him. He's cross-eyed and
yeah.
He's just scary looking.
But it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So, yeah, Emily is the name of the little girl.
This is like a United States of Terra.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And also one of his personalities, I forgot about this one. One of his personalities is Leroy. Leroy's a dog. So he just barks every once in a while. When Leroy takes over, he barks. And when he's the Badger, he has a tendency to call everybody Larry.
Everybody's Larry? Oh my God.
So yeah, it's different.
So I have a very awesome pick. It is a incredible game on Steam that is called Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend.
Yeah, and it came out in 2013, and the hero is voiced by Jack Black.
Oh,
and Brutal Legend is an action-adventure game that marries visceral action combat with open-world freedom, set in a universe somewhere between Lord of the Rings and Spinal Tap. It's a fresh take on action driving genre. Yeah, and I just actually saw somebody who looks like what's his name from Lemmy Kilmister was in the game.
Oh,
Lita
nice.
Ford is in the game. Ozzy Osbourne, Rob Halford are all present in the game because Brutal Legend, the guy, he is a roadie.
Oh, okay.
And I forget what happens here, but like he basically has to go into hell and fight these demons and like reclaim his soul. But he has this special guitar that when he plays metal, it kills everybody. It puts out lightning.
Awesome.
But you can wear it out. It's an amazing game, and you battle epic demons with all these people that sort of go along with it. There's even a soundtrack for the whole thing. But yeah, if you it's $7 the soundtrack. But if you go on Steam right now, it's Windows, Mac, Steam Play, everything, $14.99. It's a pretty awesome game. So fantastic. So Brutal Legend, yeah, it's on Steam. It's really good.
Cool. Well, let's check that out. It sounds like a lot of fun. So.
Well, metal and fighting. I mean,
there you go. Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. For all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
On the tweeters at Ninja Troll Show.
On Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Tim say,
"Yeah, well, don't count your weasels before they pop, dink."
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.